I need to get some more of the back.
She said she was gonna give her
It's
some
been a
kids,
successful
but she wants
debut
something from Mari.
for the littlest elephant
Jalen, you didn't
in
get
the
it.
box.
She can get
I'm
it.
fasting.
Reynolds here for, I guess.
I'm fasting. I'm taking this with me, but I'm fasting till 6.
She can get it. I'm gonna stop and get
It's
something.
unlimited premium wireless.
I see the bed coming in.
How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim to it.
All right, so Pop, go ahead.
Oh, I this is
Rotisserie.
good on Jalen.
All right, so Poppy, I already asked you this, but I'm gonna ask you too, Nana. But like, describe y'all parents and all that.
Just driving.
Yeah, like, you know, I never had a chance to meet them. Well, I mean, I met Poppy's father, but like, I never really knew them. So like, what were they like? Because we talking about a whole completely different era, time living, and everything. So yeah. Well, starting off, what do they do for a living?
I'm ready to eat.
They're still great, Grandpa.
See? Told ya.
Meet the traveling trio. The thrill seeker, the soul searcher, and oh, it's the explorer. Each helping to protect their money with Chase. Whoa, a lost card isn't keeping this thrill seeker down. Lost her card? Not the vibe. The soul searcher is finding his identity and helping to protect it. Oh yeah.
Poppy, you say your father used to do like deliveries, right?
Because these friends have Chase. Alyssa have Checks. Tools that help
FCX
one bank that
deliveries.
Chase.
What was he delivering again?
What's yours?
Okay. I forgot what you say your mother did. Shirt factory. You did say that. You did say that. What about your parents, Nana?
Rates are here for a limited time. Starting at just $14.99. Dive into tasty twin reef shrimp, blue and French onion sirloin, and the beef and beef platter. How we do it?
So was the farm like where you lived, or did y'all have like a separate farm that y'all would go to?
Wait, where are you from?
They had their own phone, but they was
Great
smart.
Barrier Rates. Starting at
And this was all in Dillon?
now at Outback.
Yeah, I noticed y'all have like a lot of like acres of land in between the houses and stuff. So like, what did it like look like and all that? What did it like? How big was it? Like, how did it look? Your home grounds.
Steakhouse. Try the Great Barrier Eats, like the beef and beef platter, or the twin reef shrimp, starting at just $14.99. I love the Great Barrier It's reef, mate.
Why would you say that?
Great Barrier Eats, now at Outback.
So very strange and unusual.
I know you were born in 45, Poppy was born in 48. I got that part. So both of y'all was born towards the post era conclusion of the Second World War. Poppy, you say your father served. Nana, did your father serve? In the military? Oh, okay. So, and you said both of your parents were farmers.
Well, yeah, but they was married, so yeah.
So, like, how does a farmer make their money? Because I actually don't know this answer to this question.
Say crops, sharecropping.
Sharecropping. Like, they would grow it and sell it?
Elephants who are lucky enough
They
to
would
visit
work it, and
Zangabai
then they
is
would
both
sell
a playground
products
and
like
an
cotton
elementary
and
school.
tobacco.
And where they sell it to, like, markets and stuff?
Yeah.
Because I actually don't know how farming works. Okay. So you grow your stuff, but you sell it, and so that people can sell what you. Okay,
It's important
that makes
for young
sense.
bulls,
All right.
as family life in the forest is female-led.
What else you made?
But at
Where
the
they grew their
time,
garden, you know, they grew all day and put this time.
there are plenty of older males to learn from.
That's why I was hoping.
I'm gonna take most of this back with me.
Uh,
I'm gonna break my fast at 6. So I'm gonna take most of this back with me.
I'm gonna have to do obviously.
Dang, Poppy, you taking all the good part.
There you go. First preference.
Yeah. Poppy, what more can you tell me about your parents outside of the conversation we had the other day?
Well,
And then I know you say you still thinking.
I'm still what?
You said I know you say you had to think.
Like human arm wrestling.
Oh, they do their arm.
Sparring
No, I
matches
was saying like just
force
describing them in
test each
general.
other's strength.
Because mind you, I never knew neither of your parents.
Established.
I just met Poppy's father that one time.
It is such
Where was that, the Bronx?
skill
Where did we
to
go?
master.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Copycat
This was in
matches
Brooklyn.
Break out all around the body.
Okay. But yeah, what more can you tell me about them? Now you say your father served.
Size of 20 football fields.
I'm sure around the time you were born, you know, that's when he was probably doing his business.
For
I
everyone.
got 2 pieces.
Oh,
Yeah,
And you're never
Okay,
too
I don't
young
know
to
a whole
start
lot about it.
practicing.
I know it's been like a while and all that.
Especially when you've got such a long way to go.
I can't say he loved the Lord. I don't remember that.
But if there's one thing that's sure to dampen an outdoor party,
I don't know nothing about him.
this is the rainforest after all.
Nothing good.
What about your mother?
In the Congo Basin, 3 inches of rain can fall in one day.
All I know is she worked at the shoe
A
factory.
challenge for the elephants, as the one thing they hate to be
I know she could
is
sing.
clean.
Man, she could tie up a song. That's where my
As
sister
each
got her
storm
voice.
passes, the elephant's
Uh,
top priority
But that's about it.
is to get dirty.
you want to know how many kids my mom had?
Was it like 11?
14.
14.
10 boys and 4 girls.
Really? I thought you had more sisters than that.
Huh?
I thought you had more sisters than that.
It was just 4 girls,
Okay.
10 boys.
Thanks to the
And you were the second to the youngest, right?
reapplying their mud coat
Third to the youngest?
can
Okay.
be a daily chore.
4. Brother, Alvin.
Despite their skin being an inch thick, it's sensitive.
Okay. So you are the youngest.
Applied mud coat.
So wait, you said the fourth, so that means you are the youngest. I'm talking about on the daughter side.
Oh, the
Is
daughter?
especially
Yeah.
important for newborn skin.
Yeah.
You're the youngest daughter, but you're not the youngest sibling.
I'm next to the youngest girl.
Oh, you're next to the youngest girl. Okay.
And it's
So how many people were under
the
you?
mineral-rich mud.
Like age range. Like
Walk
you were second to the youngest girl. Did you have any younger brothers?
everyone.
Nobody but Eugene.
Okay. Eugene, that's the one who just had his birthday?
That's Gerald.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. Yeah, Uncle Gerald, yeah. Okay. And
Importance of
like
Zechariah
have you figured out like what you could say about
is
your
clear
parents
to see.
and how they were?
Hello.
They didn't have that much. I mean, they were thinking that they can think.
It helps me
It was
think. I just
slavery.
need to
Mm.
Enslaved, but you know, they had to do their own raising their, food.
They had to work hard to make ends meet. Cause both of y'all are from the South. And where y'all was born conclusion of World War II. We got the death of FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt. I think Eisenhower stepped up after him. I think it was Eisenhower.
Gotta be Wendy's.
I don't really remember too much about how he was as a president, but what could y'all discuss? So I know I've been to Dillon plenty of times. Poppy, I finally got to see your hometown at this age, but this is modern day me seeing it. What was Dillon and Washington, right, Poppy? What was those places like all that time ago? You know, without all this modern day technology and all this stuff we have now, what was it like?
Like I said, everybody made their own way.
Vicks
Like, what did it look like?
provides soothing, non-medicated
Uh-huh.
Vicks vapors. Easy
Like, how would y'all describe?
Downtown and
Vicks vapors.
spot like it is
And try
now.
new Vapor Shell Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Y'all didn't really have fast food back then, right?
Now with our new garlic sauce.
They did.
Y'all did back then?
I used to have that hot dog stand in it.
Never-ending pasta.
Yeah.
Starting at
Yeah.
$1.99.
Okay. So, like,
McDonald's always been around.
yeah, McDonald's been around for a long time. That was the one.
And special offers, like a free
I think y'all had McDonald's. I seen the movie. Y'all seen the McDonald's movie? It's called The Founder.
today.
About the guy who, you know, the guy that franchised McDonald's was even the founder. He met the founders, but he took their business and he franchised it. It used to be on Netflix. It's a good movie though. Michael Keaton played the founder basically, but the founder ain't really the founder. He just like took McDonald's. Like it was two brothers that started McDonald's. He took their company and he franchised it. But the goal was the brothers never wanted to expand. They just wanted to keep it one local business. But the guy had saw how popular McDonald's was, and he had decided to like actually make it a corporate brand like how it is today. It's an interesting movie. But that's cool. Poppy, did your hometown always look like kind of like how it does now, or was it a little different? It was like a lot of land.
Yeah. They done a lot of building now. I remember when all them houses wasn't up. Same thing about here. When we moved out here, all these houses, we was about the third or the fourth house out.
Around in the dirt, it's always popular.
Yeah. So like, I'll ask you this already, Poppy. Nana, I think we had a conversation years and years ago. I was probably a child when I asked you this. But what was the earliest age you've seen signs of like racism from what you experienced? Because y'all was born into an era where it was just so common. It was the norm. So what was your earliest signs? Because, you know, no kid is born and knows, oh, racism exists. You have to see it. You have to live it and experience it. For us today, we learn about it in school. I never knew what racism was until I went to school and they taught it in school. So what was your first time seeing what you would call today like a racist act? Rather that happened to y'all or somebody in your family, or you seen just it happen to somebody?
It's went back to where blacks couldn't drink out the same fountain that the white people were drinking out the school kids.
Everything, everywhere you turn, point to racism.
That was racist.
Signs,
Yeah.
no color enter.
Right.
Color go around the back.
Understanding their
Looking them in the eyes
relationship
showed racism.
can take a little more detecting.
You was taught,
We had to go in the back.
you
Yeah,
was,
even when we was doing
Within the
it,
forest,
but it was just coming out of it, and some of it. You know, the racism.
they smell and
Yeah, once we get to the 50s,
before you
yeah.
can get close.
Yeah.
Which is interesting about the times y'all was born. Y'all was born, Civil Rights Act officially jump-started in the 50s when y'all was in y'all youth.
Yeah.
Because the school integration, that began, I forgot the lady's name, who that little child that integrated it. That was in the 50s, so y'all were children. Y'all was around her age at the time. And then Brown versus Board of Education was also in the 50s. But y'all was in our youth now, and you was probably like 10 entering your teenage years, Poppy. You were a little bit younger when Brown versus Board of Education was kicking off. But you say y'all had to go around back. What places did y'all have to go around back to like go to? Food places.
any public place. And some you wasn't allowed in.
So food places.
We call it had their own bathroom.
To avoid getting into fights with each other.
So y'all had like what, 4 bathrooms? Because y'all got male and female. So y'all had like 4.
Bathroom. I mean, in school.
But in doing so,
Oh, so where did y'all use the bathroom at in school then?
Well, they had a bathroom.
Or you said some place was in bathroom. So like what places? Y'all had like a shack or something?
They had our toilet.
Out toilets, kind of like what a porta potty would be.
Yeah.
but it's not
Okay. But the white people had bathrooms though. Like okay. And did y'all personally encounter anything? Cause both of y'all from down south.
growing from it.
Not really.
Baby fruit trees.
The older people was prejudiced. Their kids, our age, really was.
Yeah, because racism has to be taught. So
So
yeah.
many miles
They,
shade
you know. But
that they are more
they
effective
parents were
at
really
dispersing
racist.
seeds
Mm-hmm.
than any other animal.
Then you say like you had a friend and the parent didn't want you hanging with him.
Elephants don't just live in this forest.
Romans said, yeah.
They plant it.
That happened to you, Poppy? You had like a friend and then the parents were trying to keep you away from him?
They're known
They trying to
as the
protect you
gardens of the rainforest.
because they know how sneaky and crazy white folks are.
Yeah.
So like, what was like the craziest racist act you've ever encountered? Even if it wasn't personally, but like something you've seen. We know about the stuff we hear, like documented in the news and stuff like that, but like things that y'all personally were around for or seen.
Congo Basin.
It might have been like a neighbor or
Is bigger
something.
Than we could have
Well-
ever imagined.
Robert Henry,
In their
my
endless
uncle,
quest for the
lived
food,
here.
vegetation,
In Maryland?
and salt that they need.
Give you an example.
Okay. Oh,
He
okay.
lives here.
Generations of elephants
This is the highway,
with stomping feet,
public road.
tusks, and
On
trunks
this side of the road,
have engineered
live
an ecosystem
a white family.
unlike any other.
Down here in the woods,
Hundreds of bodies.
there was some holes that was dug.
Oases of light and
They
life
needed, white folks needed some dirt somewhere.
like
So they dug 3 holes
of elephant pathways.
and they filled up with water.
This isn't
We
just
used to
a
go back
rainforest.
there to swim.
It's an elephant metropolis
Well,
that's become a home
just one day,
for all.
we were getting ready to go back there to swim. Now, this property belongs to the white man.
Yeah.
This road is public. It goes back there
allowing the
in the
trees
woods.
to grow taller and store
The white
even
man
more carbon
Told
than
me,
those of the Amazon,
I'm not going swimming today. I say, why?
making the Congo Basin
He don't want me to cross his
one of the most
land.
important lungs
Well, there's the public road.
of the earth.
I'm a walk. I ain't going on this property. I'm going on the
Of
public
this
road.
planet-sustaining
Well, he gonna
life.
come over there to stop me. When he did, I grabbed
Is
him,
intimately
picked him
tied
up, busted
to
him,
that of the earth.
and was beating him up.
What age?
I don't know.
When you say you went swim, I'm thinking you were like a child, but you was like a teen.
I was.
You was like a
I
teen-
was a kid. I was.
Was it a white man or was it like somebody around your
It was
age?
kids. All of us kids.
But it was a white man that said that, or was it like a person around your age that said that?
Oh, you didn't eat the
Given
potatoes out.
space
I'm full.
and protection. This calf
The white man and his children
Mm-hmm.
are what I'm talking about.
Okay.
a mother
The white man said I wasn't going back there.
Right.
and a true
His
guardian
children gonna come over
of
here and
this
stop.
great rainforest,
Oh, got you. Okay.
protecting it.
Well, when he did walk over there, I grabbed him. I ain't waiting on you to hurt me. When he did walk over there and I got close enough to him, my hands automatically went through his throat. I picked him up, body slammed him, bounced him, and his mother had a hole in her hand. And she was gonna hit me in the head with that hole.
Hey,
But my cousin bro saw it and he came running and he pushed her down.
Yeah, that's a no-no back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Courage,
And
You don't do that. Not back then.
my other cousins came over there and
secrets shared.
it was a big fight in the yard.
Black and white. It's not.
So the white boy called the police.
Yup, I can see that.
They belong to a lone bull.
And you know we wrong. I don't care how you look at it, we wrong.
Toughest place on earth
My uncle
to
said,
be an elephant.
go out to mama's. So I went through the woods went out to where I live.
Namibia's Namib Desert.
So the cops came and asked, who are the kids? My uncle said, I don't know. I ain't never seen the boy before. He said, what you mean you ain't never seen him before? So they saying, the white folks saying he's lying because they see him all the time. Well, my uncle said, if I'm lying, well, where is he? Where did he go? Well, I had already went out to mom. But that was the racism that I experienced. One incident that I experienced.
Nothing happened to your uncle, did it?
No.
Okay.
They didn't bother him.
Okay.
They ain't gonna bother him, no him. Cause see, he'll shoot. He ain't gonna hurt you. He ain't gonna bother you. But you ain't gonna bother him either. He will put a cap to you. And he told me, he said, you just going out to mama, you stay, I'll be around there. I came around there, he came around there, he told me everything was all right, don't worry about nothing. And next day, the very next day, I went walking, and I'm going by myself. I went walking, and they were sitting over there on their porch. I didn't go on this land. I walked down that field. And if they had came behind me, then my cousins would have come down there. But they didn't bother me.
Western edge of Africa.
I didn't bother them.
The Namib Desert.
But they know, they knew from that day on who the more in the Peed family really is. We didn't bother them. But they realized you don't bother us either. Man, niggas was coming out the wall. Black people looked like they were coming out of the woods. Everybody was out there. And wasn't nobody scared. Everybody, I don't know how many people had guns. But the white man ain't the only one had guns back then. The niggas, they came out there with some guns.
That did spark up another question. Anna, you can answer this too. Living where y'all lived at, was it predominantly black or white? Or was it like in the middle?
You got the country.
Like in y'all town at least.
But she's never laid eyes on a desert elephant.
Had a lot of black people.
She wants to find out how these
White folks didn't like to still run black folks.
in this
And
unforgiving
it's still though.
Way off though, man.
You go in a white neighborhood
But if you took us about
and buy a house, you watch them,
desert
you have for sale signs up left and right. There wasn't no nigga, no white neighborhood.
So they didn't really have any, where at least where y'all live at, they didn't have laws in place keeping it.
And his 25 years of studying the desert elephant.
Nah. They won't no laws for black people.
No.
Only laws for black people was the hanging. That's the only law they had. I'm glad I wasn't living way back.
Yeah, earlier than where y'all was.
They
Yeah.
done hung me. I know that. I can't beat all them there. I'm trying, but I know I can't beat all them white folks.
So, Bobby, let me ask you, and I know you, ever since I was born, you always loved cowboys. And so what got you into cowboys? Because, that's like predominantly white, kind of.
Yeah.
Just the idea of the country. And that's what used to come on y'all TV, right?
Gunsmoke.
All of them were.
Gunsmoke was.
And that was your show. That was your favorite thing to watch, cause yeah.
Everybody's favorite. Gunsmoke is on.
Mm-hmm.
White and black liked it,
my whole
but
life, and I've never seen
but,
elephants like this.
we didn't have a 3 channels.
Yeah.
Didn't get all that.
But you can immediately see the differences.
And what we got
Their legs have less fat on them, so they look taller. And their
didn't
skin is
show
looser.
nothing half the time.
It's incredibly tough for an elephant here. Food and water. are-
Nana, what was you watching back then?
And it's only
Same
getting
here.
worse.
Everybody watched the same
In the
thing.
Namib Desert, Climate change has brought with it a 5-year drought.
Everybody was in the
Everything
cowboys
depends on their ability to get from
doing the thing.
one water hole.
And y'all had little cartoons that played too, right?
There's no time to stop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had
To
cartoons.
investigate.
Yeah.
To
Looney
explore,
Tunes.
to play.
Looney Tunes.
It's just survive. Survive means
Poppy was telling me that to see a movie back then, y'all didn't really have trailers yet, but y'all would have billboards and posters,
Yeah.
and that's how you discovered like, you know, what was coming out. So like, what was a movie theater experience like back then? Like, did y'all go often, or like was every once in a while?
Dry season.
Once a while.
When daily temperatures
And then you
regularly above
had an
100
interest you had to
degrees
go
Fahrenheit.
in. White folks up in the balcony. The black folks is downstairs.
I could have sworn it was the other way around. I guess some places were different. I seen this movie. It was like the black people were in the balcony and the white people were downstairs. But I guess
I
probably
might be wrong.
it probably depends on what state you was in or how they decided to do it.
I might be wrong. We could have been in the basement. I don't know.
Just minutes old.
Back
But
then,
the
it was
odds
a
were
lot.
already stacked
It's
against
kind of
them.
hard to get it all.
Was TV an often thing for y'all back then, or like what was y'all childhood like? What? Because you know this is before TV really took off and all this technology. Like what were y'all day to days?
8 years
You know how they
since
jumped the
any
rope?
desert
That was
elephant has
pop.
survived
We
its
had
first
games
Hot
that
spot.
we get together at a certain time of day and play. Everybody plays.
Right.
Marbles for the guys.
Hide and go seek. Big
Yeah,
time.
he paid our own.
Big time.
And this was like every day for y'all, pretty much. Oh, well, not every day.
Whenever we got together, we played a lot. Yeah.
start
He made our own stuff. Games and stuff. It was fun. I used to love to jump rope. I used to do the double clutch and everything. They see people there.
That's what we did.
So when y'all wasn't like playing around, like what was y'all day to day like then?
We went to school.
We had chores to
We
do.
had chores to do.
Y'all chores was probably a lot different because both of y'all kind of had farms.
Sometimes we had to do working at tobacco, but we went to school.
So like, how does that work? You know, pulling the tab back. Like, what was y'all doing? Cause y'all know I ain't never farmed before, so
Rolling used to crop the tobacco.
what does it look like?
is
Well,
already strong. Elephants
tobacco
for 22 nuts,
is a plant.
longer than any other mammal.
Mama had this little nursery.
She's ready to go.
We got the tent inside this nursery is the tobacco plants. You gotta keep them at a certain temperature before you plant them. Then there's a certain time you got to plant them.
With
So they'll
food
grow.
and water being so scarce,
So
suckled for 6 years. 2 more
They
than
had this
any other
tobacco
African
planter.
elephant.
if two people, one sit on this side, one sit on this side. They got this machine.
While the rest of her family stands watch,
When it opens the hole, you stick a plant in it,
captured
and
here
it
for
covers
the
it back
first
up.
time. Her
You had to be
mom
quick.
takes
You had to have your
the
plants
afterbirth
laid out.
shower.
So you riding, you sitting there, and they pulling you down the field, either like tractor or
So
mule
rare.
or whatever.
The placenta is an
One
object
put one in,
of
one-
curiosity.
And then you got your row. Now you got 30 rows, 40 rows of tobacco. You gotta wait. Now you got the water because you got it planted, but it needs water.
Smell to ring like a dinner
So
bell,
what you
eaten
do,
by predators.
you get a cup, get your cousins together. Everybody get a bucket and a cup. And everybody put 2 cups of water on that plant.
We're still talking about Clapton because this is the greatest
Give us
tale
some
of
more.
survival in history. The most isolated shipwreck on
This is how we raised tobacco. Well, that had to be done every day for a couple weeks until the
A lot of things that go bump in the night.
plant take root.
Mother Nature is a teacher, but this
You
is
praying for rain. Well, if it's rain, you ain't got the water for 2-3 days. But
This is done like during the spring.
the hottest time of the year.
Oh, so like the summer.
No, this is spring.
Okay.
This is spring, but it'll be hot out.
Starting at $13.99.
Yeah, down there, yeah.
So
Can a
They-
personal loan unlock
you
your
done had it
wishes?
in the ground for let's say 3 weeks.
Consolidate bad debt.
This
Save
is the
money for your
ground.
next goal.
Now it's about that
Kitchen
tall.
rental.
You see it's growing good.
Literally.
Well,
Design your actual dream way.
when they get about
All your
so
ambitions
tall,
all in one app.
it'll
SoFi
grow.
personal loans. Low fixed
This
rates,
is
borrow up to 100K,
the
no
this
fees
is the
required. Go
tobacco
to
plant
SoFi.com to view your rate.
It'll
SoFi,
grow little
get your money
suckers.
right.
Mm-hmm.
on the side. You gotta go out there and break them off so it'll grow.
Mm.
That stunts their growth.
And this is your reward.
So they will go out there and break them suckers off.
every phone can be
You had to like cut them off.
Pro with Apple
Just break them off with your hands. And
Switch to Verizon and get the new iPhone 16
once
Pro.
you get
Then
it
get a new iPad
up,
and Apple One all on us. Only on Verizon.
now it's grown. Now you got to get the tractor all new, and they call it prime tobacco. Some people call it chopped crop
It's never the enemy,
tobacco.
but it's never the friend.
But what you do,
The bush is where I feel the most alive.
you got two guys, one on each side of the track, and each guy
Whether you're a koala
got 2 rows.
Diagnosis ketosis.
you want to go to the
Okay.
in the bush.
My favorite part of the job to say.
Here's 2 rows going down the field. Here's the tractor. Here's 2 rows going down the field on the other side of the track.
One day she may become a matriarch.
You see how wide this is? They always had a wide, and you know the tractor went there because ain't no tobacco nothing
But for
there. Anyhow, this guy is priming 2 rows. What I mean priming, he's breaking the tobacco off the vine. Here's the tobacco vine. You got leaves growing all the way around it, all the way up to the top. What he's doing, he want the first 3 or 4 leaves. They the only right ones. The rest of these are too grown. What he doing, he'll break, and you'll know what you're doing after a while because you look at the color of the tobacco, and some of it is much
Males leave their
more
families and
browner
never
than the other because
endangering
the tobacco is
survival.
green. But it turns like a golden turn when it gets.
Almost 55,000 square miles of the Namib
So this primer,
can be a lonely place.
he going down the field and he priming 2 rows. He's in the middle. Here's the truck, the tractor.
For
But
4
behind the
decades,
tractor is
he's
a trailer.
walked up to 50 miles a day.
I'm not gonna put a trailer back there. That's the tractor, and that's the trailer. The trailer is where
3
it's
times
usually even with them guys.
his 40th birthday.
This guy here, he'll prime this row and this row, and this guy here will prime
Water.
these 2 rows, and they'll put the tobacco in the trailer. When they get a trailer full, then they take it up to the tobacco barn. Up at the tobacco barn, you got
What keeps him alive is his incredible memory.
how is it now? The tractor get to the tobacco barn with the trailer.
Of the desert. filled with details.
Right
about
here.
to find exactly what he needs.
There's a woman, it's usually a woman, on each side.
This river is dry.
What
The
happens,
pool isn't here for water.
you got two
Just a good
people
meal.
will take the tobacco out of
The
the
challenge is getting down to it.
truck and they'll give it to this woman who's standing here. She's
These
standing
pumpkin
here,
sandbanks.
but she got her own setup. She got a stick sit up on a horse like that. What she do, she take that tobacco from them guys and she got some string in her hand. She'll loop that tobacco and lay it on that stick. She'll grab it on this side, she'll loop that tobacco and lay it on that stick. So all it's doing is hanging on that stick until she get a whole stick full. Then she'll cut the string, tie it off, and they'll take that tobacco and lay it on the ground until they get
This
a
desert
bunch of
snack
it.
bar may not look that
Then, you getting bored yet?
No, I'm listening.
but the portions are generous.
Then they'll take,
On
the
his
guy
own
come
name,
back
a
and take
quarter
all
of
that
the time,
tobacco that's on the
he's
ground and they'll load it up on another trailer. Then they'll take it up to the tobacco barn. Here's the tobacco barn.
He's eaten here before.
Now
Each tree offers something different.
you got guys that in the tobacco barn, you got tiers that 1, 2,
On a
three,
tree pods,
4,
protein.
all the way up to
They're
the
the
top.
desert equivalent of a peanut butter
Tiers,
sandwich.
here's the tobacco barn. Tiers run from one side of the barn to the other side to hold the tobacco sticks when they get there. It's set up that way.
You won't knock
See,
down
the-
trees like savanna elephants.
Here is your tiers.
By simply pruning them, he ensures
Now you
his
take
precious
the
food source
tobacco
will still be here next year.
and you lay them on your tiers. You only put a little bit of gap in there so the heat can get between the tobacco and cook it. That's what the tobacco barn is for, to cook the tobacco. So now you got all this tobacco on all of your tiers, all the way to the top.
First,
Then he locks the door or closes the door, turn the gas
it's
on,
time to
and he
find
cooks his
love.
tobacco.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl.
Now, when it's
Garlic
done,
herb sauce, which means that
he'll
every
go in
pasta
there and
you
look
crave
around.
isn't just back, it's better than ever.
Somebody got to take it out of the barn.
Starting at $13.99 for
So,
a limited time.
you start down at the bottom,
Fairlife Ultra Filtered Milk
and you
makes
passing
every
it
moment
to
better. With
somebody,
50% more protein
and they gonna
50% less
put it in
sugar,
a cart.
plus a creamy taste that makes that smoothie even
And when they put it in the cart,
Fairlife.
they'll take it up to a house, an old abandoned house that belonged to the white man.
No, it's a pony.
And there they'll take that tobacco and they'll do what's called grading it. The burnt go in this pile, the not so bad burnt go in this pile, the good go in this pile. So you will know all of it is gonna be sold, but it's gotta be separated. That's the process of tobacco. One time, I was in the tobacco barn and I might have told you,
Your job is your credit. Our job is to make
all
our
this
money
darn
simple,
tobacco.
which is why we offer our express
Now I
process, the easiest way to
done
purchase
took all the
your
rest of it that's
Pay this,
below
walk in
me.
your car and pick it up
I'm
the same
all the
day.
way
Simple,
up
fast, and
in the
transparent.
top.
Make your next purchase express at easterns.com.
And there was a snake up there.
With Verizon Home Device Protect,
I ain't even
everything
think
in your
about
home
it.
is covered. Surprise guest.
I just brought my legs together and down I
Who said
came. And the white man, Claude Bush,
Whatever your
said,
headset is.
boy, what in the god darn hell wrong with you?
Plus now, we'll even cover
I said, there's a snake up there.
Good luck with the mesh.
He looked, I don't see no snake.
Yep, it's
I said, but he up there.
Device Protect.
I could have broke my leg. I could have killed. I didn't think. All I
They were
knew
big
is,
snakes back then.
yeah, them black snakes, they was fat.
They go fat.
He said, well, we gotta get this tobacco. I said, well, I don't know who going up there to get it. I went up there. I went back up there. But you talking about scared, fearful snake, he gonna get away from you. He don't want you. He don't want to be around you. But how you can tell a kid that? Nah. But anyhow,
Oh, he was like a
half an
teen
hour
or something? A teen or something?
yeah. Half an hour later, I went back up there. See, Liddy died when I was 15, so it had to be way before then. I guess I was around 9 or 10 years old.
When was you two, Nana? When was y'all doing this kind of stuff? At what age?
We done that.
Well, all our lives.
The Wolfsnake just happens to be the matriarch of another.
I mean, every day.
I didn't really go in the field.
So what did you
I
do?
babysat the white man after I came
13
from school
elephants
for
strong.
his children.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stand that. Now, you want me to go play with his kids?
So it was a nice white man,
No.
or oh, you were like a help rather. Got you. You were like a help.
Yeah. Why they go out?
What was the pay looking like for these things that y'all two were doing?
What was what?
What was the pay looking like when y'all was doing these kinds of things?
I didn't get no pay. He might give me a couple of dollars, but he didn't give it to me. He gave it to my parents.
Yeah.
They took the movie. We would work, but we would give our
The
money to our
old world
parents.
is a regular
Okay.
That's how we was raised.
What about you, Poppy?
Same way.
Yeah, when we
We
work,
go to work, but they back then the day, the parents
yeah,
took care of us.
and we had it, yeah.
And any way we can contribute to the family is what we done. That's why I'm so tight on family now. Because I know how family's supposed to run. And I know if you got a tight family, can't nothing get at it. If you got a family that sticks together, they won. But if you got a family that's distant, they don't realize it, but they don't lost. Because when they need help, it ain't gonna be there. I'm big on family. I always have been. I've been taught that because God's big on family. He created it.
So like for y'all, right? How normal was cooked meals for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner versus?
I mean, 3 times a day.
And I mean they threw
They
down.
would cook.
Oh,
You see how they eat down there?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure y'all did it often because y'all had farms and stuff.
A touch of affection.
Nana, you had animals too?
Yeah.
Probably. I know you say you
We
had animals.
had chicken. We had hogs. We had a couple
But
cows.
she's not interested.
Yep.
And what y'all did? Y'all breeded them so y'all can keep having them?
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would eat them.
they
Yeah.
breeded themselves.
Yeah, I get it.
We didn't step out.
Well, I mean, like how did you like get them? Because you had to get them so that
Oh, I don't know how they. Well,
did y'all.
You buy biddies. You can buy biddies,
Produce
and
enough milk.
I remember
Thirsty young
they
cow.
used to have a little light out there in the coop
Yeah.
because the biddies were babies
Without milk,
and
cows
and
die.
they wanted them to get
It's
up
one
a
of the
certain
reasons
size.
why
Yeah.
desert elephants
They gotta get up to
are
yeah.
on the brink of extinction.
I remember the foxes trying to get them.
I'm sure, yeah.
They go their
And y'all would have to shoot them away and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
So who did the killing then?
Everyone has
Whoever got to the gun. Anybody shooting.
I'm not even talking about the foxes. I'm talking when it's time to, when it's time to get the chicken and it's time to get the hogs.
That's the fun part. The guys doing that.
Yeah.
So, Poppy, you did that too?
They shoot them.
And you would like fillet them and stuff?
It's something
Yep.
our newborn and her.
And then I guess like, you know, you fillet them and then you just cook it like how we cooking now.
I remember the
The hard way.
hog. I ain't never seen a hog killed before. And this neighbor of ours came over there,
She's
had a
overslept.
22,
Her
put
inexperience
it behind his ear, pow,
didn't wake her.
fell out. Soon as he shot him, he took a knife
Matriarch
and
had to
split
keep
his throat,
searching for
and
water.
all this blood came out. I thought, Lord, how much?
Well, you killed animals too, so.
Yeah, but I ain't never seen all that blood.
Oh, for a hog, I guess.
Yeah, I ain't never seen that before. Oh, I mean blood.
So what did you kill?
I killed anything. I killed birds.
Or things you would.
I ain't eating nothing, but I killed it.
So when you would kill an animal, right? Like what would you do? Would you like behead it? Like what did you do? Because you would have to like kill it a certain way so you can eat what you need to eat from it. So what did you do?
Well, I know sisters
The herd matriarch
like birds.
Mm-hmm.
So I would make a death trap.
Oh, you would just have them like walk into themselves and they'll die.
I put some food down there. You go down there to eat. I pull the trap.
It like kills them.
Yeah, cause man, it's a smasher. So then I'd take him and I'd cut him and I'd skin him.
Mm-hmm.
Little bitty bird ain't even big as this pig. But I'd get 10, 15 of them and she'd fry them up.
And just regular birds?
Any kind of bird.
guided by
Yeah, what it
the
is?
fading
A
century
sparrow?
of the herd,
I ain't never.
I ain't know y'all can eat those.
set off
Well,
in pursuit.
when you're kids, it ain't no telling what you don't do.
I guess, yeah.
Cause I don't know nobody else that that ever ate birds.
Yeah, not a regular bird, no.
Is brutal.
But man, I loved it, and I shouldn't be ashamed of it. But I love the kill, man. I love it.
How early was you killing the animals?
Oh,
Mom.
Probably early too, wasn't
The
it?
rest of the
Yeah,
family with a
yeah,
contact call.
yeah.
So groceries wasn't really a thing at the time.
Now, it didn't nothing cost a whole lot of money. The
Well, I'm
food-
saying, but y'all was doing stuff yourself, so y'all didn't really have to make grocery trips.
Yeah, we raised most of our food.
How did y'all do stuff like clean y'all clothes? Did y'all go and like y'all wash it somewhere?
We had them washboards,
Mm-hmm.
them great big 10-gallon tubs.
Mm-hmm. I seen them in the movies, the
Yeah.
little washboards.
You hang them on the line.
What y'all used that soap back then?
A lot of times they made their own soap.
They made live
Or
stuff.
taking
Yeah. A lot of times they did. We didn't buy a whole lot of stuff. And string beans and stuff like that. We didn't buy a whole
Y'all
lot
grew
of
them.
that.
They raised all that.
We ate fresh string beans and
Everything.
So that must mean y'all had to work a lot then as kids, cause y'all need to continue to eat,
yeah, you got to work. Yeah.
raise the livestock and all that. So Poppy, what about you? Where you lived at, was the farm also there where you lived at?
That's something you need.
It wasn't a farm. It was just living. It wasn't a farm. It was a farm. We didn't have a farm. We had what looks like could have been a farm, but it wasn't a farm.
So for instance, you could take this house, for instance, but you will have livestock, and you'll be growing stuff in the backyard, but it's still a house.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are lost in the wind.
Okay, that makes sense. So how often did y'all get fast food? What was the occurrence for y'all to go get fast food when y'all did do it?
Into the storm.
I don't know. I don't remember. We didn't have. We had like. It was stores like the hot dogs thing. It was stuff like that. It wasn't name brands like we got now. They was popping up, but they were in town or in a big in the city part of.
Yeah, because you wasn't living. Neither of y'all was living in town per se. Poppy, is Washington small too, like how Dillon is?
Yeah, Washington is very small. It's grown a whole lot
Over the
now,
years.
but it's still small. It ain't nothing to do with my home. I like girls' hometown a lot better than I do mine.
Let's go to Florida. That's
So-
where everybody named, you know.
So, y'all.
Girl.
You know what? I forgot about him. No. Call him up.
Yeah, he got to eat. I got to get him.
No, I think Aunt's coming over. She might be okay.
Oh.
That's her now.
Yeah.
So, when it came to racism, right? Was it like a normal thing where it was just like the norm, or was it like y'all selves even knew as children like this had to be dealt with, like this wasn't right? Obviously, we know it's not right, but as kids, did y'all know something was off about color only versus blacks, or was it just a normal thing? If that makes
It
sense.
was normal. It was a normal thing.
So it didn't really phase y'all like that.
Hello?
Go say hi to grandma.
Hey, Tandy.
Hello, Jay.
Hi. So like it was just a normal occurrence.
The old kind of stuff.
Mark, go say hi to Nana.
Okay.
Come say hi.
What's the matter?
She was looking at her iPad.
Oh, okay.
So for both of y'all, right? Since y'all like around like y'all youth, y'all teens, y'all early teens, when did y'all really start to hear about the civil rights movement? Because y'all were kids in the 50s still, so like did y'all even hear about it, or like what was it like? Because we ain't had social media. I'm sure it wasn't too broadcasted on TV because the white people controlled the TVs. So
You heard on the radio.
you heard on the radio. So what's the kind of stuff y'all heard on the radio? Because y'all go from living y'all normal lives, now all of a sudden you hear all this Black Power movement stuff. What was it like?
Well, it really started when I got ready to leave home. Martin Luther King got killed. John F. Kennedy got shot. All that stuff I was reading.
So around the later era of it, that's when you started to tune in? Yeah, so you didn't really tune in early when it was kicking off. Okay. What about you, Poppy? Did you like tune in as a kid, or like did you also wait until later on? Like when did it start? When did you really start to take notice?
I started when I was in high school.
Probably the same.
Did y'all do anything to support it?
We came up here, they had a ride when Martin Luther King, was that Martin Luther King?
Yeah, Martin Luther King when he was assassinated.
I just came to the city. Boy, up here.
Up here in Baltimore?
Yeah.
So what was the riots like? I knew they were in Detroit and Chicago.
Turn up everything. They were walking down the street, refrigerators on their backs. They were breaking in all the stores. And they were trying furniture, refrigerators, washing machines.
And these are things you saw. These are things you saw.
Yeah, I was up here. Man, I was scared.
Was it the first year?
Yeah, I just came up here.
So you had moved up here in '68.
No,
Well, '64. So you moved to Maryland when it was 1964.
when I came up here.
Oh, I get it, but you seen it though when in '68 when he was assassinated, or '69, whatever year. Got you. but y'all would hear about the stuff on the radio. So when y'all heard Dr. King this, Dr. King that, like what did it mean to you at the time? Like was y'all like, who's this guy, or like how did y'all feel when you heard this Dr. King guy just keep coming up all the time?
We were grateful.
Well, everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about when he was killed. I'm just saying all of a sudden y'all don't hear nothing. Then y'all hear all of a sudden the radio keeps talking about Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King, like, and he did this, he did that. So like, how did it feel to y'all hearing that you got this black crusader that's trying to make a change for the things that's going on?
Well, I was up here, but it felt good. Because I didn't know until I really got ready to leave home.
Did they talk about Malcolm X a lot too?
Yeah. Yeah, Michael X, he hated the white man.
Yeah. You know, he had came up to Morgan State in 1963 and like did like one of his speeches, his talks.
All right, there's some cabbage,
So what about family wise? How close does your family keep tabs on the movements that were going on? How close does your family keep tabs on the movements coming on?
I don't know if they care.
Y'all were just so used to living your life, they wasn't really like tuned into it. So y'all said y'all got a lot of stuff from the radio. What was y'all primary source of knowledge? Was it like the newspaper? Was it television? Was it the radio? Was it like just word to mouth from other people? How did y'all get all word to mouth? And somebody else would hear it from something or see it from, okay. So a lot of stuff got around word to mouth back then. Okay. That could be true. That could be a factor if you wasn't reading the source. So Nana and Poppy, I know about how deep y'all are into Christianity now, but back then was church a regular thing for y'all back then? Yeah, but y'all would just go. Y'all wasn't really like invested, but y'all would just go. Okay.
We knew whenever the doors was open, we need to be.
It was just a habit for y'all though. I would say was church a normal thing for y'all growing up?
Church?
Yeah. It was just something that y'all do like just habitually though.
Well, it's a little deeper than that. A little bit deeper than that. Church was bred into us from day one. And like now, for instance, if anything, it's a habit now. But we went back there in the day. We went back there in the day because that's what you do. That's what you was taught. Go serve the Lord.
What was interacting with your siblings? Like you just had your sister, right? So what was like, and you too, Nana? Well, Nana, I mean, I'm gonna ask you this, but I really want to hear what Nana says. What was interacting with your siblings like?
Yeah.
Or I guess your sister really. What was your age separation?
3 years.
Okay.
And she was sitting here, I'm done.
You ate?
Yeah. True. That's why I didn't even comment when you tried to throw that little slur. Because I done ate. Then I hear you. I just got to move.
That's okay. Poppy. I mean, I'm sorry, not you, Poppy. Nana. So with you having 14 siblings, what was it like? How did y'all interact and all that stuff?
How did we interact? How did we get along?
Yeah, like what was it like just having all the people in the house and stuff?
We got along great.
Did you ever watch the Waltons?
Yeah, we got along real good. We really did.
Y'all had like a big house or everybody just shared rooms and stuff? A shack.
Days before he drinks again.
We had a shack, honey.
So what everybody like sleep and everything?
Like 3 in a bed.
Wherever you stopped, where you slept.
Yeah.
No, everybody had their designated spot.
Yeah, we had room to sleep. We had beds.
Everybody had, everybody slept.
What y'all get for
Some of the
Christmas?
men in the desert.
I don't think it was that.
What y'all get for Christmas?
Oh, I was in the
Every
army.
sling for just
I got whatever I
$2 a
wanted.
year.
And the boy, yeah,
Really?
boom did. But we did. But,
You made a Christmas list?
The supermom and her
Or you just told them what you
young
want?
I
at the
told them
desert
what I
can
wanted.
be dangerously.
Was
And
there
they
anything
told-
to
y'all
it?
believed in Santa Claus and stuff?
I did until I was about 30.
I found my Christmas. My mother hid it. I want this big, long dog. About this big, about as tall as she was.
I understand. That's why
And
Fisher Investments.
my mother hid it under the bed.
So I can
Did y'all really get gifts and stuff? All of y'all?
Yeah. And I went looking. We was told that we couldn't get a whole lot of stuff. But we did get it. I went looking for that dog and I found it. And that hurt me to the core.
Oh, because you thought Santa Claus.
Yeah, that was wrong, you know.
That makes
And I had
sense.
to pretend I didn't know.
Liddy used to get me all, and whatever I wanted, I got.
I had to pretend I was happy.
So you was spoiled.
I said, she knew I done seen this dog. She
How old was you?
Me?
Yeah.
Like,
Even with bad grades, you still got what you want.
12.
Even with bad grades and stuff, he still gave you what you want.
So like, how like what was just the dynamic like with all your siblings? Because you was close to like the younger areas. You got some really older siblings.
Me and your uncle, the bastard,
Mm-hmm.
we was very, very close. And I was the meanest little girl that ever walked. And they had to lock me
That's
up in
why
a
I
barn
was mean.
and pretend that, and my brother done would put white sheets on. And pretend they
You don't want to wear them white sheets back then.
The being good. And I be in the pitch stop in that little barn. Then they'll come in there. I told you
Only pay for
about
the cheap.
being bad. I said, "This is devil." I didn't know it was devil.
Olive Garden is never
I said,
ending.
I'll be good, I'll be good. I ain't gonna do it no more.
Sauce, which means the never-ending pasta you
Oh,
crave isn't
you
just
about
bad.
being bad. That's how bad I was. They had three locked in the barn.
Starting at $13.99 for a
So
limited
I used to
time.
holler and scream all the time. They hit me all over the neighborhood.
Irresistibly smooth
I didn't
chocolate.
think about locking
With the
the
word
Lock me up.
on pause.
So
Indoor.
I came right out and start doing the same thing over
By the
again.
Mint Master.
I don't think I asked neither of y'all this, but have you ever like lively encountered the KKK?
Shrimp, brief shrimp, starting at just
The
$14.99.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
No, I didn't know.
Why would you say
That's
that?
good.
Direct barrier rates. Now.
What kind of music did y'all listen to back
Good
then?
morning.
They had some nice songs.
Good morning.
I obviously know who y'all had back then, but who was y'all go to?
Sam Cooke,
Sam Cooke,
Ray Charles,
Ray Charles.
Charles, Temptation.
Marvin Gaye,
Yeah, all of them.
Tammy Terrell, The Supremes.
You ain't say Gladys.
Gladys Knight.
Gladys is my baby.
You like James Brown too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, James Brown. That's cool.
If Gladys pulled up right now, I wouldn't say a word. I'd just get up, get my shoes, and walk out.
She look like a reindeer.
In about a month, I called her and asked her if she was going to come. Oh, girl, do you want to come with me and Gladys?
Okay. So I ain't gonna get too off topic, but I do want to ask, what was it like when y'all heard of these superstars that can sing and dance and do the things that James Brown, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, like what was it like hearing that you had these superstars? Because you got singers, but then you got people that did what like Elvis and James Brown and Michael Jackson did. Because they would do the dance too and all that. Because then that's what integrated the sing and dance.
Yeah.
So like, what was it like hearing that? It was this white boy that would do the things with his legs and all that stuff. Like, what was it like hearing that?
You had to see it to believe.
White boy.
I guess so, yeah.
I didn't really like Elvis.
The sexy pads on her feet.
he really didn't like
Pick
black
up a
people.
distant rumble.
He said the only thing the black person could do for him to shine his shoes
And buy his record.
and buy his record. So he really was my
The
fan.
boy had some, he was gifted though. I ain't like the boy.
He
is
could
gifted.
sing now.
I ain't crazy about him because of prejudice, but you can't take away from his music. This music is bad.
He was up there with Michael Jackson.
You know,
For that time period.
Popularity, I would say.
For that time period.
And at his concert,
Yeah.
They was fainting at Elvis stuff too, but Michael Jackson was getting up when the world was changing and more people could hear about Michael Jackson and could see and watch Michael Jackson.
Mike's the man.
So what was it like hearing that it was this little child and his group of brothers that was singing? What was it like for y'all hearing the Jackson 5 and all that? And they're up
We was very proud.
to see 5 brothers like, being musicians.
I forgot, girl.
Glad to see somebody make it out of the slums.
Tied up on.
What about you, Nana? What was it like hearing about the Jackson 5 when they was starting out and a group of 5 brothers?
I loved it. That was the talk of the town. Michael Jackson.
Was Patti LaBelle back in your time?
Yeah.
All
All that.
to be right now.
Where did y'all originally see yourselves growing up? And like, what did y'all see yourselves doing?
When I grew up,
Yeah.
I wasn't big hungry.
You didn't care what you did, though?
13
Huh?
feet
You didn't really care about what you was going to do?
is heading
I
their
just
way.
want to be home after I got out of school.
What about you, Poppy?
I've always wanted to be a stud.
What else? Like, what did you see yourself doing, though, for a living?
I saw myself wobbling the nation.
You want some more garlic bread? We all know.
How go ahead.
That's about all I had to think about.
So how efficient was your education systems growing up?
I'm trying to watch my figure.
It was good that the ones that taught us put their heart in it
She
because
got them out
they knew
just in time.
what was up the road for us.
Yeah, they knew it. They wasn't expecting black people to know hardly anything.
So the ones that taught us really cared about us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back in the day, your school
The
teacher
woman that moments
was
ago
allowed to
was
whoop
life
your
threatening
hind part.
Yeah.
That's why I be knocking on
become
kids in
life
the head.
sustaining.
Nowadays,
I'm lying.
nowadays they can't even look at you cross-eyed. And you see how nasty the kids are? They out of control.
Better odds for the child.
But Nana, what about you?
We have other practices to get them together.
Nana,
That's different.
Nana, what is how was the education system like for you when you was in school?
It was good. They had high school.
The rain
And,
causes a welcome relief.
They had football, basketball, basically everything.
Would you like to
It was
choose
good.
Johnny?
Yeah, I couldn't wait to graduate.
First, the mud seems to confuse
I
her.
wanted to get out of town.
Did you have a reason of why you wanted to leave?
Because I got tired of the country. Wasn't nothing to do.
You wanted to see something new. So why Baltimore?
My brother was living there.
So,
Oh, you did say that.
You know,
be as colorful. It was slick though. So we got
Better
you know, have you seen Miranda and
three different
Geraldine?
locations. Saw him.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
can't
he
live
wasn't
with
filming
them.
then.
Not
isn't just
Miranda,
cooling.
but Geraldine and my brother.
But he could hear.
And then they started having
I would not like that.
but
Today was the launch, so he had to be.
Do you know why he chose Baltimore, or you don't?
Well, he wanted to leave too. He got married. He wanted to have a better life. He got married,
Oh,
the
and
elephants drink
not
as
young. I
much as
mean,
they can.
when he got married, he left. But what nothing to do.
question for okay. Question for both of y'all. Were y'all in classes with all black people, or was it black and white?
It was 6 months
back.
They just started right
to
when I
use
picked
the
up ready to leave.
$40,000
That's exactly why I asked that.
from her trunk. Eventually,
And what did a normal day at school look like for y'all?
as an arm is to us.
I spent most of my day looking out the window. I didn't want to be there.
But for now,
And then I'm paying for now, being stupid.
Oh, you getting paid? I wouldn't say.
Yeah, but Jalen, I don't know where I would have gone if I had applied myself. I didn't want no parts of school. None. Stupid.
Was it because it was born to you,
It
or
was
because?
super born.
Right. So that's come down to the teachers too, making it exciting for you.
Felt that time when you skip school and a bus, a train hit the bus.
I didn't know this. The one day you skipped school.
I skipped school.
Switch to Verizon and get the new iPhone
Teachers
16
didn't know
Pro
who I
and get a
was.
new iPad and Apple Watch.
I was supposed to be there. I think I went the first day and only thing I went back. But then I had Sugar for Ben Cobb. He and I used to hang out together.
Did you want some?
I would stay up his house. His parents would go to work, so we'll sneak up his house and spend the day. And this one day, what I would do, I would walk down from his house where I knew the bus was going to stop, and I'd get on the bus to go home. I knew the guy that drove the bus. No, he's not supposed to do that, but I knew him, so he didn't. So this one particular day, walking down the street, the road, to get on the bus, and here comes the train, and there's the bus getting ready to cross the track. Well, I knew the boy shouldn't have tried to cross the track before the train get there. But he didn't want to sit there and wait on that long train. So he tried to beat the bus. Trying to beat the train. And the train hit the tail end of the bus right where I'd have been sitting there. When I did ride the bus, I always got all the way to the back, all the way to the left corner. That was my spot. Well, Gregory, Stanley Jones, and Iris Lodge was sitting back there on them two benches. The train hit the bus and it wedged Stanley in the back. He was all bent up inside the bus. And the rescue people, they all there now trying to get him out. They got Iris Lodge out. She was crippled for the rest of her life.
Welcome aboard.
Stanley Jones
have come together
ended up dying.
Krabby Patty collab burger.
And
it has Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef and a secret Krabby collab sauce.
see, they got Iris Lodge out.
The patty is, wait for it,
They finally got Stan out, but yeah, he died.
ready. For the Krabby Patty collab meal you're craving, gotta be Wendy's.
I think on the way to the hospital he died.
How about the driver?
He didn't get hurt. He was always.
Yeah.
It was at the
He
back
should have
of
went to
it.
jail for manslaughter.
Well, he should have. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, he should have done that. You don't play around with no kids.
That's responsibility.
John bringing the
Because you don't want to wait.
Yeah.
Baker and the bus.
But my mom came up
Brother Jim needs the
because they thought I was on the bus. They didn't know I wasn't going to school. She came up all scared and whatnot. And when they found out that I wasn't on the bus, well, where were you at? I said, me and Sugar, we went, I don't know what line I told her.
Look, she turned around, look beside her, you like, hi, mama.
They were glad he wasn't on there.
Yeah.
That's the
is
one
coming
time
to the end
his
of his
disobedience
time
paid off.
One time.
One time.
But
You
that
got
don't
that
mean that I should have done it.
No.
I still should have been on that bus.
Should have been on it.
But God used your disobedience to
God
spare
used
your
my
life.
disobedience.
Ain't nothing you can't use.
There you go.
So back to our civil rights leaders, right? Dr. King and Malcolm X. Malcolm X had was assassinated first. Hearing these assassinations, both of them, how did it feel to y'all? Because we go from hearing about these great leaders. Now, Malcolm X was killed by his own kind. He was killed by, well, he claimed he wasn't Muslim no more, but he was killed by the Muslims. So that was a little different. Amari.
Amari, talk to your grandma.
She like playing with me. She like the attention. She want me to give her some attention.
But yeah, like hearing about these black leaders being assassinated, what was your initial reactions?
Well, Malcolm X didn't bother me a whole lot.
He wasn't too major like he is now.
Now, Malcolm X,
He hate white men.
but King, he upset the whole world. King was a different person.
Yeah. Martin Luther King got killed. Everybody walking down the street, burn up stuff.
I was up.
I didn't know it was riots in Baltimore. I knew they were in Detroit and in Chicago.
There were riots around the world.
Yeah.
Somebody said the hospital killed him.
Everybody was.
It was a setup. He wasn't dead on the spot. He went to the hospital. And they said they killed him in the hospital.
So yeah, I heard the same thing you heard. They're saying it was some people that was in on it and the government killed them. They finished the job in the hospital.
So that tells you what kind of world we in.
If it's true, if it stands.
90% of the time.
We know who killed Tupac. We know who killed Tupac now. You know that? I'll tell you that later. But we and guess who's connected to it? Diddy. Diddy is connected to it. I'll explain that later. But yeah, we know who officially gunned down Tupac now. But yeah, that's neither here nor there right now. But how did America also take President Kennedy's assassination when he was killed in Texas?
Wasn't two of them killed the same way, the two brothers or something?
What's his name? The other Kennedy.
He was killed the same way.
They killed him too.
They shot him too.
But I'm talking about in the car.
No, not in the car. He was campaigning. He was running for office, I think, and was killed during the campaigning.
Yeah, they didn't want him.
Robert Kennedy. Yeah.
I gotta give her some shoes.
So, you know, with the death of John F. Kennedy and all that.
When you order her stuff, get her what she needs.
for her family,
Don't just get her.
for their entire
No, I was letting you talk. But a year later, the civil rights, President Lyndon B. Johnson passed the Civil Rights Act. So how did y'all feel when he signed that act, the Civil Rights Act?
challenges
Glad. I mean, you know, because we could do things that we ordinarily wouldn't do or couldn't do. So, yeah, eat your food. Everybody was happy.
Eat, Martin.
Yeah, everybody was
You can get some more mac if you want.
glad to see a change on the process.
Life seems impossible.
Okay. It wasn't like any celebrations where people just happy.
There was some celebration,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one. You know that stuff we had hanging in the ceiling. And two of my paint off the ceiling.
They've learned
When Kyle was taking it down, I got 3 spots that the
What
paint
was
was
it?
gone.
Well, y'all put
Them
it up there.
suction cups. We could have just tweaked it up.
Poppy, when America went to fight Vietnam, was you almost drafted into the war?
to generation.
So what happened?
Took a little piece of tape.
This is
Who done that?
This is why these elephants are
Well,
new.
she bought the suction
that I'm really not proud
As
of.
much a part of the desert as the ship
Man.
fans.
I was dating girls,
Man, good.
and I got my draft notice, my papers to come down to be tested. Well, I knew that if I passed the test, I wasn't
They've
coming
roamed
back
our
home.
planet for
So back in
6
them days,
billion years.
they was sending people overseas.
Is she
It wasn't bringing nobody
I
home.
hope so, because I'm not cooking them.
So
take a shot with you if you don't need.
I came up with this concoction. On this foot, the little toe
Yet gentle.
is on the other
Yeah,
toe.
I know.
Well, I went through the physical,
I got so much to do.
and the man had already stamped me 4L. That means I'm going to service.
Yeah, I was thinking
I
about
told
instead
him, I
of getting me
said,
a flight.
I can't go.
But
He
there's
said,
that
what
show I
you mean
told
you
you.
can't go?
elephants.
Get me a
I said, I
red
can't wear
flight.
no shoes, them tight shoes.
But I have a
You
white
see
one,
that
but it
foot?
has
That toe is riding on the other
for
toe.
They have
And
thought
I can't wear no
I
hard
wear
shoes.
that.
no. When I was down,
But
when I
I
went
not down for that
down,
now. But
I
like
had on some
2 days
tennis
or
shoes.
whatever.
brand new,
I would have thrown
and I had that
without
toe
all that
cut
fur
out
on it.
so I could use
If you see it, if not,
so I could
I'm
use
going
it.
out looking anyway.
Well,
I might go
the
out
guy
Baltimore. They have some nice stuff out there.
stamped it again.
Balls and stuff.
I forgot what
Those
the
jackets.
client. But anyhow, when he stamped it again, I was
You didn't
the
get nothing
only
done.
one standing out there in the yard. Everybody that went through that test was on the bus,
They still
and they
say,
was going. I was the only one came home. I ain't proud of that, and I won't tell nobody about that because they look at it as it is. You ain't no good to do
For
something.
every elephant that walks.
Well, you know, our country is surprising. Out of all the wars we fought in, this was the one time America didn't want people fighting. They didn't want the troops to go to war this time.
Everybody was on that bus, went overseas.
So, what did it look like when everybody was like protesting against the war?
Matters more than family.
Oh, sure. You can protest all you want.
And here on the Savannah,
Right, all you
the
want.
biggest
But they got the National Guard to bring things back under control. Now, you can protest if it's peaceful, they won't bring them out. If it's not peaceful, they'll have the National Guard.
I'm skipping over, but let's go back to Rosa Parks and all that. How impactful was that moment when she had, you know,
has been born into
basically told off the police officers and stuff like that? Like, was it as impactful back then, like how it is today?
a tight-knit network
Yeah.
of aunts, cousins, and sisters,
Some pressure for
all
a whole
looking out
lot
for
of,
each other.
Yeah, that's a cute little outfit together.
a whole lot of. Who put that picture up? Did I put that picture
His
that high?
mother is the highest
What
ranking
size
in
are
his
you
family,
on? What picture?
That picture there.
Yeah, you
and
did.
she
I put
faces
that
a
picture up
major
there.
dilemma.
Why in the world would I put a picture that high?
Approval
Why,
dry season
who
has
is
taken
that?
hold in Zimbabwe.
People be getting that story messed up about Rosa.
She knows of
Rosa
the
They
Parks.
be saying that she wouldn't
They'll have to
That
take
picture right there,
care
who's
of
that?
this past
and let the man, white man,
And his
sit.
girl.
But what
I
they
don't think
leaving
it's
out
that
is,
far up though.
Rosa
But it's
was
up
in
there, you
her
can't
right
hardly
section.
see it.
and she wasn't in nobody else's. She, you know how it was a cutoff and the black
Dr.
started.
Paul
So the
Cavani
white
is
section was
one step
full,
ahead of the
and the
herd.
white man said, "Give me your seat."
Okay.
That's why she wouldn't get up because
Okay.
she like, I'm in my section. I'm not giving up my seat.
She's here to find out
They
how
leave
big
that out.
families
People be
navigate the
missing that.
difficulties
And
of harsh
I wouldn't have got up either. I'm in my section. I'm not in y'all section. How can you come in my section? Right. But how you gonna come in my section and tell a female to get up?
Because he
That was back there in the day, and that's what
No,
they do.
she did right because I'd have sat down too.
Well, yeah, she didn't get it.
Y'all
She didn't
report
give a
about
seat
the
up.
everybody gonna wait. Cause you tripping off of that.
Yeah.
So I had to correct one of the teachers one time, a white lady. She was explaining, and I threw that in there. I said, and Rosa was in her right section. And she was like, oh yeah, that's right. Know your history, ladies and gentlemen. Know your history.
So, like when y'all heard about this stuff, like what did it mean to y'all? Was it so bombshell like how it is today? Was it that impactful?
I was saying go road.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
That plan was good though, to have everybody like carpool and find a different means of transportation, like ride each other and all that. That's a powerful movement to have that amount of people all on the same bandwagon, because it's power in numbers. That money is green, and that's the only color they was caring about.
Yeah,
they
that
was getting
green
a lot of percentage off of the black dollar. Catching the subway, bus.
And that's what they're trying to do these days. It just rotates around. It's about the same. What you got?
So.
You're not gonna share some with Nana?
No, I wouldn't.
So upon
She got her own cake.
Upon the death of Dr. King and all that, was introducing the movement of the Black Panthers. So, what was that like?
Huh?
Brief. They didn't last long.
You need a spoon or fork?
KKK.
And you got one? Okay.
And the Panthers, where you see the KKK is just as live today as it ever been.
Place their foot in such a way and open as a way to test the ground.
They don't want them blacks getting together.
Really surprising. We have never seen that before.
We stand a better chance now, but now we don't have a leader. And I'm glad, because we'd be chasing these white folks, and we have a world that could nobody live in.
One slip.
I'm glad King, because King could have destroyed America back through violence, because everybody was falling. You even had a lot of the whites falling.
The females keep the
Yeah.
youngest
If
cows.
King had decided to flip the coin, niggas would have killed all these white folks around here.
It would.
But thank God he was a peaceful man.
Yeah, he was.
They tried to kill him, which they did, but they beat them all upside the head. And they would block it, but they wouldn't fight back. God wouldn't let me out there, because I'm going to fight back.
And see,
Yeah,
and that's probably why they was
That's why
back
God
in that
put me
time.
the time that I'm in now.
Yeah.
It's amazing how important
But
details
the
are.
thing my parents went through, I would have never. That white man telling them what to do and what, but they ain't had no choice, because they had to live in their homes, but they had kids.
Me, I
I
hurt,
think,
and ain't nothing changed. I'm 76 years old, and if you hit that search button, I'm coming at you. No, I can't win. I'm too old. But that ain't gonna stop
you win. If you get married enough, trust me, you forget about age and that strength will come. If you fighting for your life.
So Nana, you moved up here in Maryland in 1964, you said? Poppy, when did you get up here?
We got married in 69,
So you
67.
when you came up here, we got married in 69. When you came to Maryland?
He said 67. Poppy
Okay.
said 1967.
Yeah, that's,
I graduated.
yeah, you're right. 'Cause you were like 2
No, we
years
got the red hot dog.
in 67.
down there in the freezer right there at the bottom.
Rolled out.
A secretion that reveals a level of stress.
Right
So-
at the bottom.
Question for both of y'all. When y'all got up here, what was life like
See you later.
in
Do me a
Maryland?
favor before you leave.
These narrow,
It's 2 bags of clothes upstairs in that green room. Bring them downstairs so they send them in the garage. You see them 2 bags back there on the other side.
All right, question for both of y'all. So
Yeah,
when,
that's them.
when y'all got up here, right, knowing that this ain't nothing like how it is
Is
down
that
south
your
at
kind?
all, knowing that life up here is nothing like how it is down south, right? What was it like living up here now, somewhere completely new compared to down there? I was saying, what was living up here like compared to living down there?
Altogether different. Up here it's more fast paced. Everybody, because when I first came here, everybody down south, if you notice, they speak, whether they know you or not. You notice that?
I told you that. That's what I love about it down there, and it's still like that.
And then when I came here, I was living with Geraldine, my sister-in-law. I told you about it. I was speaking to everybody, they wouldn't say nothing. And I said to her, I said, why do people won't speak to you? I said, you speak to them, they like they don't see you. She said, well, that's how they are up here.
Mari.
So then that's how I learned that, you know, everything was different.
Come put your
Bye, little lady.
Bye, Mari.
See you later.
Say bye and stop playing before I take that off. Say goodbye. They saying bye to you.
She's the one that attention. Bye-bye.
I didn't say goodbye to you. Damn.
But what about you, Poppy?
Carlos.
You just came up here for the first time. What's it like? He's
Well,
behind
put
you.
him in the garage for me, because that's for goodwill, both of them. Just sit them out the way. Don't block the door.
I didn't like you.
Yeah, put them down towards the end. Because they come in Tuesday.
I didn't want no parts of it.
Wait, why did you come here
Just
again?
sit them out the way.
I left North Carolina to come over to the work.
So you was just looking for work up here. Why here though?
My sister was here.
All right, so y'all both equally had somebody up here. Okay.
I live with Aunt
In
Winderman
order to get a
and my
start,
brother.
you got to move in with somebody, but you don't have no money or nothing.
And don't know nobody. That's the only reason why I came. Well, Aunt
Gotcha.
Willie was up here. The grandmother, that's my mother's sister. So I could live with her or Bud, but I went with my brother.
Like all males, when he reaches adolescence,
Okay. So what was like the city like back then?
Hi, Jalen.
Bye.
Did you get it?
And you don't forget to get look for that and get her what she needs.
Baggage.
Whatever.
Poppy, what was the city like up here back then?
You can get something if you want.
It ain't too much.
Don't go crazy.
Little Marvin, but
It's a little what?
What do you want, Mara?
Marvin, but it ain't changed.
What do you want?
So Baltimore always looked like this.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a lot cleaner though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
Much
probably way cleaner, yeah.
Much cleaner. You used to sit out on. You used to sit on the steps. They would clean them all. You used to sit out there and play cards or do whatever. Now you ain't can't sit on those steps like that. You do. Rest of it. See you later.
What part of Baltimore did y'all live in when y'all got up here?
I live in East Baltimore.
Was y'all in a city or something?
Ron lived in West Baltimore.
I lived in West Baltimore, right down Park Heights Avenue.
Yeah, that's where Ron
36
lived.
10 Park Heights Avenue.
And that's eventually where my mom Felicia would like grow up at, right? Or close to it.
Felicia? No.
No, when we got married, we lived on
West
West
Side.
Avenue.
On where?
No, we lived on Cold Spring
I
Lane.
mean Cold Spring Lane.
Yeah.
Then we moved to West Avenue.
And those apartment, Lane apartment
unlimited double miles means
on
we earn
Cold
more too.
Spring.
What's in your wallet?
And then we bought a house, Warner Avenue, that big white house.
We lived in West Avenue on Cold Spring Lane for 10 years.
Yeah.
Now, my mom said she lived in Park Heights at one point.
She was.
So yeah, they all moved
In that
again.
area. Oh, well, that's what, when we moved out of the Lane apartments, we did move,
We ain't never moved in Park Heights.
well, Warner Avenue was in the Park Heights area. That's what she's talking about.
West Avenue.
Yeah, you know, it's Northern Parkway, Park. Yeah. But in that area, not live there, but that's what she's talking about. We lived on Warner Avenue, and Park Heights is up the street, but we never lived on Park Heights. We lived in a house across from the racetrack, a big white house. I could get on the back porch and see the horse and hear the races.
Yeah, then I don't know if this is true, but then y'all have a pool or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a nice house, but the neighbors got too crazy. That one neighbor, well, both of them really. So our house, we had this real big, nice swimming pool Roland had built. You come off the back porch and go right into the pool, walk down the steps. It was like a little paradise back there, but the neighborhood just went down. Both our neighbors on both sides wasn't used to nothing. They just went out.
So, I know you said y'all met at like a blind date or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what was the beginning of your marriage like? Because now y'all both moved from down south and y'all living up here. What was the beginning of your marriage?
We got an apartment before we got married, so we can move in our own place.
What we done,
Area larger than the entire United States.
both of us was working. Girlie was living with her brother.
The habitat can support
I was living
huge
with my
herds.
sister. We knew we were gonna get
It is the
married,
largest mammals.
so I would give her money. She'd
The
save,
abundance of food
she'd
and
put
space
money to it.
allows their extended
pay for our
families to
furniture.
roam together.
So when we
But in this
Said I
spectacular
do.
wilderness, the
About
success
2
of
weeks
every
before we
family
got married,
depends on their ability
we
to
had to,
communicate.
I got the apartment, had the furniture delivered. I lived there for, I guess, a couple weeks. We got married. She came home to the apartment. For a while, things were real good.
For the last 48
The
years,
Bible
Dr.
says
Joyce Poole has been
you
eavesdropping
become
on
one
elephant
flesh.
families.
In order for that to happen, something got to happen.
Learning
You
their
don't just
language.
become one flesh. Well,
I speak to elephants.
I started
I
rebelling.
rumble to them if they seem upset. I say
That's when the
hello
problems
and
began.
things. Their vocabulary
money is not
very
right,
large.
If the bills could,
Elephants
I'm
have
telling you
over 30
something to look out for now.
There are rumbles,
If
the
the
low frequency
bills
ones, there are roars,
Piling up.
there are trumpets, there are cries.
If the wife is not happy,
Wants to suck off.
fix it right now. Don't let it go no farther.
So that's when
Because
it
all it's gonna
escalates.
do is
That's when
accumulate
the
problems.
suckle rumble didn't
Snowball
work.
problems.
And then you have to escalate.
One right after the
Say,
other.
Mom,
Stop it from the root. If you let it grow, you
Mom's not
end
being
up getting the
very
book.
cooperative.
That's what happened to your mom and dad. Cut it off. Don't let it fester. If you let it fester,
There's an
you
alibi.
can't win.
Just like a baby.
In order to become one
She doesn't
flesh,
have
there's
any
trials and
milk, but she
tribulations
can
you're
comfort
gonna go
baby.
through.
Females
Now you can
from
go
the
through
age
them
of
by
about
yourself,
3 or 4 years
or
old
you can go through them the way God said go through them.
babies.
Don't get married thinking every day gonna be like today, because it's not. There's gonna come a time when you're gonna want to quit.
Like
Stick
old
with it.
for me.
If you're gonna do it God's way. You ain't gonna do it God's way, then you go to do whatever you want to do.
So what was it like when y'all brought, Aunt Felicia and Mom into the world? What was that like?
See how reaching back there,
You
she's
just
trying
start
to
working
show the
construction.
baby where to suckle.
And he will always get laid off. I was working.
So
But the
even
bill,
Alma
that's why you gotta watch how you
decided
put
to
it into
produce
that.
milk like Mom does.
We
She
borrow
does provide comfort. And
$500
that forms a close bond.
beneficiary. They still around the thing. How many years, bro, it took them to pay for that?
Girl.
It's a suckle rumble, but it's a more complaining.
Every time we get it paid down, we go back and borrow again.
Yeah.
So you never pay it off.
No.
And
And then you
now
start
it's going
running
to
into
Mum
problems
to get some
because of that.
real milk.
You know, you go through some things. Marriage is good, but a lot of work. You gotta keep working at it
That
constantly.
she puts her leg forward to
Don't run on this
let
own.
the calf suckle.
I see.
Very cute.
And
When you decide to get married, try to make sure that's the one for you.
After decades
Okay.
decoding the calls
So,
of elephants,
when Ronald Reagan was elected and he was in administration, did the things he was doing when he was in office, did it ever affect y'all directly?
Ronald Reagan?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Elephants
back
can
there,
combine different
you
types
know,
of
he-
calls.
the
They can
Republicans
combine and make
repeat
a
that stuff,
rumble
not
or rumble,
Democrats.
or a roar rumble,
always it was the
rumble
Republicans.
trumpet, a snort trumpet.
And Reagan, you can tell,
What we don't know is whether by
but
combining
mainly white folks
those two
benefit
different
from that.
types,
You
they're
know,
making
people
it,
that
in a
had
sense, a
money,
new word.
not the poor people.
Elephant conversations
So,
can be incredibly complex.
These next few questions is about what y'all seen when y'all lived up here and how Baltimore changed, because I know Baltimore wasn't always what it was today.
What I hear,
Yeah, like things you've heard and saw as y'all both, as you and Poppy lived up here. But one question is like how were black people acting up here when y'all got up here?
Back and forth
how
for
black people
up
was
to an
acting.
hour.
Well, when we first came to,
Literally
Here,
having
up
a
here, started living up here.
oh,
They're having a
they
discussion.
didn't speak.
It's
They
very
let you
obvious.
knew them.
hmm
But if
It's
you
not
knew that
just
they was okay, what
noise.
you knew.
But it wasn't necessarily like I'm sure, like culturally, right? They still acted a certain way. It may have not been like how it was down south, but they still carry themselves
They
a
wasn't
certain
as
way.
wild as they are now. Things, you know, they acted with more normalcy than what it way more than what it is
negotiating,
now.
planning, and caring.
Did they carry themselves well? Would you say back then?
Savannah elephants
Did they carry themselves well back then?
of all elephants.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the need to be part of
So
a big
my
family
next question is, when did y'all first start knowing change? Like when did y'all first start seeing, okay, it's starting to change now?
Puberty means independence.
The youth is starting to act a certain way. Baltimore is starting to act a certain way. Around what year did y'all, or like year era range, did y'all start to notice things are changing here in Baltimore?
15 miles a day. They
I
search for
don't know
food,
if I ever know,
water, and mates
because they have
across a landscape.
they aren't that much of a noticeable change.
No.
I mean, things have changed, but it's so much time
With
in between the changes
you'll want to savor
until
every
it's
moment.
done happen
50% more
before
protein, 50% less
the
sugar,
news
and that's
really
ours.
settles
It's
in.
delicious.
Yeah.
Fairlife.
Have some, Grandma?
Can I have your
I
Okay.
mean, ask yourself that question.
Come to the Skittles.
You've been here 23 years. When did you notice the change?
Any change.
Well, I've noticed. I was born into it, so it was like I was born into Baltimore being like what it kind of already is, and how bad and how wild it is. So I kind of always knew about that.
It's always been that way.
Luke's flying to the Loopy side.
It's just how much of it, or how less of it. But it's always been that way.
Well, let's talk about. Okay, I'm gonna ask it a little differently. I'm gonna rephrase it a little bit. Drugs, for instance, right? When did y'all ever start to notice that? When, okay, now we got some drug dealers going, as people selling drugs now. Like, did y'all ever start to notice when that became an issue?
And just like that, my car's getting delivered in a couple days.
North Carolina, South Carolina,
Right here. Here.
Car shopping made unbelievable
there wasn't a problem. There was drugs,
Carvana today.
but it wasn't a problem for us. Because number one, we were small and we didn't know a whole lot about it. And number two, it wasn't that plentiful in the South.
I was so excited when I heard the sandwich was back.
Moving
I
up
was like,
here,
Cloud 9, 2 words, Cloud 9.
you
What's
can
up?
get
This is
drugs
And this is Celia.
And a little thing
anywhere you
about the
go.
Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich.
Even when you first got up here.
From in
You
the
can
back.
always count on that crispy, tender, juicy
They
chicken.
got
and it's
people
got
walking
pickled
around
jalapenos, and it's so good.
talking about
It's
what
the
they
pimento
got.
cheese, topped off with the honey. It all
They'll
comes
walk
together
past
perfectly.
you.
I like the original.
And this is all in the
Spicy
60s.
chicken fillet.
Yeah.
But either way,
You're getting a winner.
real customers paid for their
They
testimonials.
walk past you and holler. I got some good bread. I got some black mollies.
Thank you, sir.
And half that stuff, I don't even know what it is. I just tell them, nope, ain't it. They keep right on walking.
They're trying to make money.
And it's the same way today. You go downtown.
That's all they are. I don't even want to go down there.
On Freeform.
You go down there to the Lexington Market.
Yeah.
It was the kids.
Yeah, teenagers.
Even I'm saying even back then.
Yeah.
And then I got breaks, man.
Your job is your credit. Our job is
Oh, they've been doing it.
That's why we have a one price promise. The price you
All
see
right,
is the price you pay. No gimmicks. So you know you're getting a right deal.
So
They
let's.
say the white man's behind that, all that drug coming in here. That's what I always heard.
What if you got rewarded?
Yeah.
That's the you know what you want.
Like
With the Verizon Visa card, you can get up to 4%.
Didn't have much.
That's 4% when dining at your go.
Yeah, it two people that was big on it. Ronald Reagan really expanded it, but what's the guy that got in trouble for Watergate? That one guy.
Watergate.
Yeah.
Nixon.
Yeah, Nixon. Nixon was big on it too. With he started the war on drugs,
Yeah.
but secretly they was behind the scenes with it. But Ronald Reagan actually got exposed for. He was doing a three-way trade. He was giving guns to like the Eastern countries, and the Eastern countries was funding like the cartels in like Mexico and stuff, and Mexico was funding America and putting drugs in America. So it was like a three-way. I forgot what it's called. It's called something, but it's like a three-way triangle. But that's how Ronald Reagan was able to handle the hostage crisis when those hostages was in. Yeah, that's how he handled it. But he was killing two birds with one stone because he was putting drugs in the black community and stuff.
And they said,
Iran hostage crisis. That's what it was called.
Now humans
It was like 11 ambassadors. Yeah, it was like 11 ambassadors. Because that's why a lot of people don't like Jimmy Carter, because they try to say he dropped the ball with trying to get those hostages
yeah,
back.
that's why he only had that one term.
And Reagan succeeded him immediately.
Stick together for
But
companionship.
Reagan did more damage than I think any president.
He did.
But like what damages would you say you've seen him cause the most?
Who, Reagan?
Yeah.
It's a daunting.
Like how did the world change or America change after his terms?
Jaziri is 12
Things
years
are
old.
getting better, cause like I told you, Reagan was mostly
Like many preteens,
I'm sorry, I'm saying like when he was in office, I mean.
prone to taking risks.
tight. Everything was tight. Working for much
He's
of
known as
nothing.
gang of friends.
Yeah, Reaganomics.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Role play
Okay.
fights were once for fun.
And let's talk about hip hop culture, right? So
Strength and
we got drugs in America now, or they're at an all-time high, and now you got people that like kids rapping about it now. So we go from like you name it, Marvin Gaye and Sam Cooke and all these people. You go from R&B, you go from love songs and soul songs. Now we got rap songs because we got people that's like rapping about the stuff that they've grown up seeing and the streets and stuff. So what was that shift of culture like? Now y'all a little bit older. Y'all probably in your 30s or 40s at this point. So what was it like hearing like y'all. I know y'all wasn't listening to it, but like y'all knew what was happening though. So like, what was like the rap culture, when the hip hop culture, when that started to pick up in the 70s and 80s? What was it like for y'all seeing that a shift of music tone change?
It was different because the music that we had back in the day, I call good music. It wasn't no rapping, and you understood the words that what they were saying. With this rapping, we wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
Each culture changes.
Approaching a hero
with
always
us,
intimidating.
let's get it on.
Yeah, music like that, Marvin Gaye.
With y'all,
Otis Redding.
Your mother is a
for another 25 years.
Whatever, free.
That ain't music. I mean, that's the day, but that ain't music. See, love songs lifted the girls up, and it gave them something to look forward to. Y'all stuff, all you want to do is bang them. Call them a bunch of bees. That ain't music.
Not much is
No.
That's for this generation.
But you call it music, but that ain't music.
Well, I'm not even getting to the deeper, like more modern era of it. I'm just saying, like when like how we talked the other day about your first time seeing a commercial talking about menstrual cycles, right? What was it like when the first rappers was rapping about selling drugs? Like how big of a shock was it for y'all to hear that?
It was tremendous shock.
Or killing somebody, let's say that.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. And I still find it.
You could see he has to raise his head.
You don't treat no woman like that. That's why there's no respect for a woman. And what's so bad about it, James?
We're so lucky to have these superstars.
She don't respect herself.
I just like to say the women is just as bad as the men, man. That's why
Back
they
in my
like
day,
that.
the woman respected herself and would make you respect.
I've been killed by Irish.
You try to kiss her on the first, no.
Even though Tolstoy is coming up from
Now, she pulling you.
deciding where they go.
Everything is changed. Everything is out of control. And it's going to get even worse.
And once again, what year is it for y'all when y'all, I guess, y'all knew about church and Christ growing up, but when would y'all say y'all rededicated your lives to Christ as adults?
Things that you see with the super tuskers is that they are surrounded
What up
by
here?
this
Or
group
down
of
there?
other
Up here.
locals. The local people
Well,
around here call
I can't say found Christ because y'all knew about him. Y'all just ain't like.
Like serving.
His tusks
Yeah.
are so long that makes him
Yeah,
vulnerable
I was
to
going-
anybody who wants to attack
I
him.
was first hurt, but I wouldn't admit it like I should have.
Bobby, you know what I'm asking you.
Me personally, I wasn't saved.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's why I'm saying.
Mama said, you going to church? That's where I went. I didn't get saved until I came up north
Eating together.
and I heard the plan of salvation. I repented of my sin
Trust
and I got saved.
Who came to you?
Yeah, like a family.
A white boy, Burroughs Stemple. He and I worked together.
When you was doing the construction.
Yeah. The Lord, and I'm saying the Lord because that's exactly what happened. It was a job for two people. And the Lord put me and Merle together. And every day, I would curse, say what I wanted to say. He never did. Never asked me to stop cursing. But he lived the life around me.
And you noticed it?
And he talked about the Bible. Lunchtime, He would sleep half of it,
Welcome
and he'd
aboard.
read
The greatest
half
players in the
of it.
universe have come together to create the
And
Wendy's
I couldn't
Krabby Patty
understand.
Collab Burger. Ready to
I mean,
learn
I
more?
love the Lord, at least that's
It
what I
has
would
Wendy's
tell
fresh,
you.
never frozen
And I
beef
thought
a
that I
secret Krabby
did.
Collab sauce.
But I didn't even know it.
Tell me more.
The patty
Burl.
is, wait for it,
Was a Christian,
Such perfection.
now I'm
and he
ready
showed me
for the
he was
Krabby
a
Patty
Christian.
Collab
He didn't do a
you're
whole lot
craving
of talking.
at Wendy's.
He lived the life around it.
On game
And
days,
I
you show
admired
up
him.
loud. You show up early.
Plus,
You
he
show up
was
in
a white
snowstorms
boy,
and heat waves.
and
Just
I ain't
for us.
hate the white
Only
man,
66%
but I didn't have no
voters showed
love
up
for
in the
him.
2020 election, which is why this
But I
year
had white
we need
friends,
everyone to make their
or
voice
should I
heard,
say
whether you're in
associates.
New York, Arizona,
Because I wasn't crazy about the white man coming out of the South. And I still ain't crazy about it.
And always
I can tolerate him, I can get along with him, and I ain't gonna hate him no matter what he does. I can't hate him and say I love Jesus. I'm lying.
Okay. And he led you to Christ and everything. And then what about you, Nana?
He leads me too. I was going to my brother's church,
That's why we're
but I was
protect your
just,
privacy store.
I wasn't
And
saying.
to give your
Vero did.
real street address store.
Vero did.
So while you're juggling everything
Yeah,
else
after
like
he
a
got
boss,
saved.
we're the
I always went to church all my life. I
as
was
the
never
shutting in
saved.
boxes, anything and everything
Down
to
south.
keep you going store.
They made us go.
Visit the UPSstore.com
You didn't stay in the
and
house
get
if you
3
went
months
to
of free
church.
mailbox services today.
I used to go to church mad because I had to go.
faster and stronger
But
than
that's how we
Advil
were
rapid
raised.
release gels. Also from Advil,
Okay.
Advil targeted
Yeah,
relief,
get out of
the only
there.
topical with 4 powerful pain-fighting
Yeah,
ingredients
okay, that
that
makes
start working
sense.
on contact in
So,
less
Pop-
than 8
What
hours.
you need to do,
Look, I got the new iPhone 16 Pro at Verizon.
you need to
Apple
get in
Intelligence
touch
is
with your
great deals.
family
You can get it when you trade it in any phone.
and lead them to Christ. You go down south
At Verizon,
and you see,
customers can get iPhone 16
you hang out with them,
all on us. That's over
You see.
$1,400 in value.
we all went to
Only on
church,
Verizon.
Yeah.
Just like running on slide rules.
but
Don't worry.
nobody saved.
If your team
Now you up here, you up north.
Slider Sunday.
Again.
King's Hawaiian Slider.
You know the
The only
difference.
way to Sunday.
You know that without salvation, you ain't going to heaven. If you love your cousin,
Helps me think. I just
live the life around them, and every now and then mention Jesus to somebody.
breaking wind.
Her brother, I love the family.
This is what we do in the shadows.
Her brother, we were at this picnic,
FX, stream on Hulu.
family picnic, everybody there. And
That's just theory.
I knew, and that's him there. I knew he wasn't saved by just
I can
the
imagine.
conversations that we have. You will know if a person is saved. If you're born again, and if you that much different than me, then something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong with one of them.
Just theory
Well,
is clearly irritating.
I talked to that boy I don't know how many hours. And he was right there at the gate, but he wouldn't open.
The babies get the best of
He
everything.
wouldn't open.
Like in the male group, you have to
I planted the
yes.
seed. Somebody else came along and watered it, and he gave his life to
Oh my
Christ.
God, he's gonna bring down the whole tree. Everyone's getting
You
super
love
excited
your
about
family. When you go down there with them, bring somebody back with you. I don't mean bring them up north. I mean live the holy life around them. Because a lot of your cousins are not saved,
this.
James.
That was a success.
They were just like
They go
us,
down the tree
love the
and
Lord in our
And
own
now it's
way.
time to feast.
They go to
Just
church,
is terrified of being beaten
but
up
a
again.
lot
so
of them
he's
don't know
off to the
Jesus.
side.
And if they do know him, it would still be a feather in your cap because you showed enough interest in your family
You can
to
feel
tell them about the
just the
love of
opposition
Christ.
going on here.
Jalen, I've been here a long time.
When you look at Tolstoy,
don't nothing matter here on earth
but he's not a
but what you do
fierce,
for Christ.
aggressive leader.
That's the only
He's
thing
very
gonna last.
gentle.
Everything else
He's
gonna
very
burn up.
tolerant. It's hard not to like him.
I don't care what it is, it's gonna burn up. If you're born again, you stand before Christ,
Just like the
and
females,
what you've done
all
for him
elephants have
would
close
be
friendships.
rewards to offer to him. But if
But
there are
all
no
elephants
rewards,
have become vulnerable
think how
targets for
lonely that can
poachers.
be, everybody in heaven giving reward and you looking around peeping.
And more young
Nothing to
elephants
give.
are finding themselves
Think
alone.
about it. That day coming. That day coming. You're going to die. You're going to leave from here. What are you going to do with Jesus? What do you got for Jesus? What are you sending him now?
And Zoe
What
was
are you
just
doing
2
for
years
him
old
now?
when her entire family was killed by poachers.
After we gone,
She was orphaned
ain't going to be
for
nobody
their
else
ivory.
to talk to you about Jesus. Unless you make it happen. Put yourself right in the center.
Rescuers tried to
Just
introduce her to other elephants,
Swivel around, talk about Christ, everybody.
but Zoe didn't fit in.
I know you're young and you got a lot things you can do, a lot of avenues you can fall down or follow down. But I'm telling you, Jay, the only thing that matters is Christ. That's the only thing. Everything else will give you satisfaction, pleasure.
So she took matters into her own hands.
That too gonna go up in smoke. Only thing you do for Christ gonna last. I had to put that in there. Cause you go down south and you're planning on going back down there. You know, bring somebody back with you. Let somebody know that you love them. She got another brother.
She is matriarch to her very own
We
herd
left.
of
We left. He was in the hospital. In the hospital. Who was that in the hospital? You know?
And it appears her misfit family
No.
has even
The
learned
one
to
that we turned
understand
around and
her
went back.
moods.
JC. Well, JC, we done led quite a few of them to the Lord down there.
She may think she's one of them.
It's not your
But
brother.
unlike buffaloes, elephants
The
like to
lady
eat on
and
the
her
leaves.
husband, we went to see him. He was in the hospital. I think he ended up
16 hours a
dying.
day. They must follow
But
as
anyhow,
she browses.
we went to the hospital to see him. And I wanted to talk to him about Jesus, but it was so many people in the room that I knew that wasn't the time that I couldn't get his attention and talk to him with all these people in there.
She's had to figure
So
out
I stayed and stayed and stayed, and then we left. And then everybody else left.
to keep her
I was in the
extraordinary
car and
family
drove off. I turned around, told her I had to go back. Went up there and talked to him and led him to the Lord. Just like that. I've done that because I love him. I know he died. I don't want him to die. And I know that I got
From an
something
early
that can
age,
save.
elephants are hardwired to be sociable.
And don't go give it to him. Nah.
And it's now
nah.
known
mean up
that
there or
friends
down
help
here?
relieve
Down
the
there,
stress
moving down
of
south.
traumatic events.
It'll come to me in a minute.
I know we done Sam like that.
It was Sam. It was
Sam was up here.
no, but you know the lady. Her.
This very
I
special
can't
bird
think of
is
it.
made up entirely of toddlers.
He's David, Uncle David.
Each one an
I
orphan,
think.
with its own
Wasn't it
devastating
Uncle
story
David in the
of
hospital we
habitat
went to
loss,
see him?
Yeah.
human
Uncle David
conflict,
was.
or drought.
What's his wife's name?
His wife dead.
But
Up
who
to
was the
25
lady?
young
No, it
elephants
wasn't
are
David.
taken in at the
Because this
Rotati
was his
Sanctuary
wife.
each year.
It'll come to me in a minute. But anyhow,
So
my
one
point,
big
Jalen,
adoptive family on the long road
my
to
point,
recovery.
you are a
As they
Christian.
learn the lessons needed
You
to
born
return
again.
to the wild.
God didn't save you for you to And I ain't saying you doing this, man. But he didn't save you for you to keep your mouth shut about him. He saved you because you can reach people that ain't nobody else can reach.
Hyenas found him trapped in a well
He got something for everybody to do.
and left him.
And now that you're in the family, you're obligated to tell somebody about him.
To select a single leaf
Jalen, that's the only thing that's gonna
and
matter.
tackle whole branches.
If you want a future, give God your future, and He'll give it back to you. He'll fill it, and He'll give you a future. I'm serious. And I'm talking about a future that's second to none. I ain't gonna cut you off no more. Go ahead.
Okay, so when y'all both gave your lives to Christ, like, you know, what were some of the immediate changes that started to happen? Like, lifestyle-wise, anything change?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we were doing, we wasn't. A lot of people that we hung around with dropped off.
First thing I done,
A simple act of kindness.
first thing I done was got rid of the beer in the refrigerator. Second thing I done was got rid of the reefer. I didn't get rid of the reefer first because I was planning to smoke that. God said it ain't gonna happen though. But that was my plan.
And you have the stream every night?
Yeah.
Life changed.
Yeah.
It didn't automatically change.
Only pay for what you need.
We had to make it change.
And a lot of people that we hung around with, because our house used to be the party house.
Friday night,
I would have shrimp, fried fish, and he would supply the other stuff.
Thank you.
Beer and all that. We had so many people coming around there
every Friday.
because they knew I was going to be cooking and was going to be free drink.
My cousin, right around the corner, Esther, she still talks about it.
Special K.
Y'all still, what y'all eating today? Oh, yeah, today, Friday.
I used to have shrimp, fish, all that kind of stuff. And nobody had to pay for nothing.
I grew up with Bruce, and he was the most introverted guy.
We would have
He's like the world's greatest entertainer.
so many people.
Yeah.
We gave our life to Christ. Then we had a whole church up.
Verizon Small Business Days are here. October
I mean, the whole entire church.
You remember that?
like a free
Out West Memphis.
I remember that day. I remember that big festival y'all had at the new house, yeah.
Yeah, we had dropped the whole church over there.
I remember that. Yeah, everybody parking and everything. I remember that.
I can't believe we had everybody out there.
I remember that. That was a really big day.
It was like a little carnival. So we had
Yeah, y'all had everything. I do not forget that. We took pictures too, I believe.
I got.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, we took pictures and we printed them. I remember that.
He had his old car parked up there.
We had a face paint. I remember. I think I got my face painted.
I got the snowball machine. I just gave Dan the bounce for Jaden. I don't even know if they used it or not. But I gave that to them.
So let's go to sports real quick. What was the Magic Johnson era like? What was the Michael Jordan era like?
It's just popular. Everybody knew that he was the star. And everybody went crazy over Michael Jackson. Not Michael Jackson. Jordan. All of them. That was the top of the town. But they were top dogs.
A free pizza?
you go.
Michael Jordan.
When you need it most.
Everything that they would set out there, we
For
buy.
30 people, 3 miles a day. They can't stop when I have dry hands. I trust O'Keefe's.
It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed
Something's
relief.
going
If it
on
works
with
for these hands, it'll work for
Michael
yours.
Jordan.
Also
He don't
available
look
at
right.
O'Keefe's for healthy feet.
He done gained all this
Brisket
weight.
is back at Chipotle.
I heard somebody
Seasoned,
saying something about
smoked,
it. I was reading.
All that money he got.
spiced,
But he don't even look like it.
bold,
He all
and
rolled.
blocked.
Somebody
It's a
said-
whole new kind of brisket done the Chipotle way.
I could look into that, but yeah. Back to just people up here.
Helping millions
The
of people reduce sugar from their diets.
How were people in like the 70s, 80s versus how they are today after I was born? 70s, 80s, 90s versus how it is today.
And see, the
Stevia Farms,
things
our
work
plants are
as
so
bad as they are
essential.
now.
Experience how great
Now.
Splenda Stevia can be. Grown on our farm.
You used to be able
Enjoy
to,
it
like
your
I
taste.
said, mingle, sit on your step,
National Geographic investigates.
have fun in the front of your house or in your yard. You have to worry about somebody keeping, you know. Then after a while, you have to start locking them doors.
Shootings and thefts wasn't as crazy back then, was it?
What was it?
Shootings and thefts, it wasn't as
They
crazy.
had it, but it wasn't no way near there.
You'd be surprised to hear
Yeah.
there was a shooting on Park Heights Avenue.
Honey, now when you hear somebody getting killed.
Yeah, now you surprised that you
Everything.
don't.
That's why I was asking about the drug dealers, because I know it had to be a point where the increase happened where everybody wanted to start selling drugs and stuff. And things started changing. Would you say, now, I mean, a lot of people, they say this like in the rap songs and stuff and documentaries, but would you really do say welfare and stuff like that, the amount of people, the jobs black people had, would you say the system basically played a big part in it?
Oh, yeah.
The system to keep black people down, and they putting drugs in the community so that, you know.
60% of the Savannah elephants
Oh, yeah.
have been lost.
A lot of thought went into
On
this
average,
era, and that ain't not much the devil.
are killed
A lot of thought went into
every
it.
day.
They didn't want blacks to rise because look at us in sports. Ain't a white boy out there that can top us in anything.
And
We never-
blacks dominated sports. Basketball,
An
all
eerie
of that.
silence
Football.
on the Savannah.
We never played no golf. Look, they got a black man now.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody touching. The white boys are good, but this boy here is superstar.
Same with Venus and Serena with tennis.
Yeah, can't nobody touch him.
Infection
That's why they didn't
spread
want us.
from a spirit
They say you niggas, you can't
after he
teach them
strayed
nothing.
into farmland.
But that's just a way to keep you
Rangers have
down.
removed his
That's
famous
That's one
ivory
of his methods.
to keep it from
want to
poachers.
keep it right down.
So with the change of the world around y'all, how did it affect how you raised Mom and Aunt Felicia?
Big shock to everyone who knows him.
Well,
What is this?
I feel very
it's
sad that
Oh, I'm getting
this
ready.
amazing animal.
yeah, I just didn't get around. to
What
throwing it
happened
away.
there? How we raised them?
Yeah, I'm saying with the changes that was going on, as y'all started to notice the changes around the world and stuff like that, or even in Baltimore, how did it affect how you raise y'all children, basically?
Important animal. Says a
We
lot
raised
about
them
how
godly.
to deal with the challenges.
We raised them to do what the Bible say do regardless of what's going on in the world.
Any
What
other-
did you convert after they were born or before?
The younger boys
I got saved.
went to him for his wisdom.
I got saved.
And losing him might
Lisa
put
was a
them in
little
some
girl.
disarray because he was so valuable.
I got
in terms of
saved.
This the
his
70s.
role in his
Yeah,
community,
I got saved
his
in
role among
back on
animals, and his place in our hearts.
78. Was it 78?
78, but you got saved just before Andy got
88, 98, 108.
Yeah, you got saved just before Andy.
Yeah.
Then you mean 77 or perhaps 76? Mom was born in 77.
Yeah, he got saved.
One by one, His
Just
friends,
before Andy.
family,
No, I got saved in 78.
And he was born in
each
77.
gently touching his body.
Yeah. So,
There's a ritual to their grief.
Angie was born February 77.
yeah.
I got saved August the 29th, 1978.
Yeah.
So I was saved
When she was born.
when Angie was just coming on the scene.
Their actions speak to the depth of their bonds
And we raised them according to God's word.
that endure beyond death.
Not only that, I live a life around them, because you can say what you want. But if you don't do it, saying it don't mean a whole lot. Now, that don't mean that
Family.
I've done everything right, because I didn't. I did not.
It's their support, their friendships,
But at least
and their deepest
I was in the
connections.
family. And those are sins that are
But
forgiven
most of all, it's the gift of wisdom.
before the even foundation of the
Help
world
the next
began.
generation find its way.
See, you got unsaved and saved. Unsaved got to pay for their sins. Saved, the sins been paid for. We need to get a haircut.
Oh, recently, like 2 days ago. Yeah. So I know you was doing construction. Nana, what was you doing again for work?
When?
Just when you was up here.
Oh, I started out working in a clothing manufacturer. Sport clothes and
Lives a mysterious creature.
No, first I got a job at
Older
being a
than
waiter.
the dinosaurs.
And that only lasts one day. Waiting on tables. The people drove me crazy. I said to myself, if I get out here today, I ain't coming back. That was my first job here.
So
I wasn't used to the city.
Yeah.
And they saying I was too slow and they lunchtime was running out and they was just carrying on.
I like to sing that. You in a restaurant.
No, you wouldn't. I said, if I get out of here today,
Girl, you can turn. I ain't looking at that.
I am not coming back.
now we're discovering
I didn't even tell that man I wasn't coming back.
So, Poppy, when did you know? Oh, Nana, you was still telling me about your other jobs, right?
Yeah, then I went into this clothing where they made men's sport coats and suits and stuff like that. And after that, I worked that. After that job went out of business, I went into pharmaceuticals, worked with medicine, and that's where I stayed until I retired. When you was born.
So you didn't need a degree back then to do that, right?
Huh?
You didn't need a degree back then to do that, right?
Wondering what I am, who I am.
With the medicine?
Yeah.
Well, I had to know the medicine. Yeah, we had I had to do training, and then I was made supervisor. But you had to know the medicine to fill it. So yeah, you didn't need that for that. But
Girl was blessed.
Yeah.
That's stuff you got to go to school for.
Yeah, that's what Mina is in school for.
She's on the job training.
Yep.
And then she eventually took over.
Yep, they run the whole place.
Nana, when did you retire?
When you was born.
'Cause I've never seen you.
About a couple months before I retired.
She retired to take care of you.
Yeah, because I said when my grandchild come, I'm going to retire. So you were probably a couple months old.
And that's when I started paying her. And I told him, when this is over, it's over. I ain't stopped paying her yet.
So now that leads me to you. So when did you know, okay, I've been working construction. I want to do this myself now.
Huh?
When did you know you wanted to do this yourself now? You want to have your own company, Genesis Steel.
Well,
I already know you attempted 3 times.
Yeah.
So walk me through that.
Well, here it is wintertime. And here come the white man with the paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working and I know the work is slowing down. I'm running out of work. And I know my name is in them envelopes he got. How do I know? Because I'm black. The ones that I'm working with, I work rings around them. But they keep the white boy and the black boy got to go. I got tired of that. And I went straight to the top. I'm talking about the Lord. Because ain't nobody down here can help me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Lord, you know my heart. And I know your word. Your word tells me that I'll earn my living by the sweat of my brow. And I'm talking just like I talked to the Lord. I said, Lord, you know I don't have no problem working. See, my problem is, soon as there's a layoff, I'm number one to go. I'm tired of that. I don't have the education to start a company.
She has privileged access.
I didn't go to school like I should. I got my diploma, but I don't know nothing.
A superpower that makes them hard to spot.
But I know you can help. Jalen, that's all you got to say to him. Tell him the truth. Tell him what you want. I didn't promise him that I was going to work and serve him all the days of my life. I didn't get into all of that. Because now I'm lying. I just told him why I'm hurt. And I told him I know you can help me. Well, he laid it on my heart to start my own business. Now, I'm thinking, how am I going to start a business? Only thing I know to do is get an attorney and let him form me a company.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord was totally clear. He said, but then do what you know. Do what you know. Not thinking that I'm going to go as far as I can go and then God is going to take
Right.
over.
And that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. I got me an attorney. We sit down and talked about a name. I said, Genesis Steel Service, Inc. He searched the records to make sure it wasn't another company out there. And that was the beginning of Genesis. Now, I'm formed. Everything is ready to go. I don't have no work. How do I go about getting work? All I'm used to doing is being told what job to go on. The white man always, you go to Florida, but now I got a company. I need to start running work. Lord, what do you want me to do? Well, a couple of days went past, and I'm working for this. I'm working for this other company, Rod Busters, and the one running all Rod Busters' work is Jim Harrison. So I went to Jim and I told him, because I knew he and Carl was having problems. I said, hey, I got a company set up, but I need some money and I need the know-how to make it happen. White boy, he said, I'm not interested. So, well, maybe that's not the one the Lord had in mind. So, a couple of weeks went past and Rodbusters had this job, and Jim done something, made the company lose all kind of money. Not really thinking, but that was in my favor. Cause Carl LaFont, the one that owned Rodbusters, ended up firing Jim. Told Jim, this is it, you got to go. Jim calls me up. You still got that company? I said, yeah. Meet me at the house. I went over his house. We sit down. The rest is history. That's how Genesis Steel got started.
So what were the failed attempts like then?
The who?
The failed attempts.
The failed?
You say you attempted multiple times to start a company, right?
Oh, that was 3 times, 2 times. The first time, the first time it was me, Earl Nanton. What's that boy name, girl?
What that was working with you?
The first one be, I'm trying to think of the black boy name.
Oh, James Kareem.
James Kareem. Yeah. It was us. James Kareem and I were buddies. And he pretty smart. He wanted to form a company. And at that time, I wasn't thinking about it. But I hurry up and started thinking, because this boy here is pretty smart, and I think we can make it happen. We formed the company, and he said, we need Earl Nanton. I said, no. Earl is one way. You can't tell him nothing. It's either my way or the highway. That's the way Earl thinks. And James said, well, we need to give him a shot. We really need him. He'll be a plus for the company. I said, well, I tell you what. I'll give you my resignation, because I'm not going to put myself under that. And he was okay with that, because he wanted Earl. Well, they formed a partnership, and it wasn't even 6 months. 6 months hadn't even passed, the phone rings. And it's what is the name? James Kareem. Dad. It's James. He said, Roland. He said, I had to give Earl the company. I said, what do you mean you gave him the company? He said, well, like you said, it's my way or the highway. And he said, I ain't gonna put up with Earl's stuff, so I told him, take it. They hadn't done no work. It was jobs that they had a job, but Earl got ignorant, and James knew right then he couldn't work that way.
That's why.
And girl.
Special for a reason.
Oh.
And
going to sleep.
And so James quit. Well, that was the first time. The second time, I got a taste now. I want to start my own company. Well, I formed a company called, daggone, I'm having a terrible time to remember. Girl, what was the company? All of a sudden, I'm having a mental block. The first one was New World Steel.
Yeah, New World Steel.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. Because it's the thing.
What was the one that I started? Manor. There you go. Manor. Well, I started Manor. And I hooked up with this boy. Brilliant. Sharp. Knows his ABCs. Marvin Witcher. Nothing but a junkie. I was in some meetings with him, Jalen. And he'd be sitting there nodding out. And the white man sitting there watching it. He'd be sitting there.
This is a black guy.
Black guy. He'd be sitting there and drop his head and everything. And the white boy would say, Mr. Witcher. Yeah. Jalen, he's on it. Tell you about what you just said, what he said, what she said over there in the corner, and you think the boy is asleep. He is, but the boy sharp. The boy knew his stuff. Well, come to turn out, he wasn't nothing but a crook. I had some checks in the back of my car. And his girlfriend was named Shirley or something. Them two niggas took one of my checks. $22,000 they put on it. Went up there to Pennsylvania and the girl cashed it. They had no money in the account, but he had that gift. I'm telling you, the boy was good. He talked that girl into cashing that check. Well, I'm sitting here at the house. That's when we was on Winter Avenue. That's the second company. I'm sitting there at the house and the doorbell rang. I opened the door up and there's 2 state police standing outside. Can we come in, please? Yeah. Tell me what's going on. They showed me a check with my name on it for $22,000. I said, I have no idea. I said, that's my check, but I have no idea how you got that. I don't know nothing about what's on it either. So I had to go to court. I had to go to Pennsylvania to go to court. And I just knew they could lock me up because I ain't had no money. And this is not mine. Well, the judge knew what had happened, and they knew Marvin was a crook. They had been trying to get him before on some other stuff, but he managed to weasel his way through it. So now he come in there. I'm in trouble. The judge told me he stopped everything. And he called me in the back. Me and my attorney went into his chamber. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what the terms he said, but this is what it meant. He told me he was going to say something, and all I had to say is yes, and I can go home. He said he know that I'm innocent, but they got to come to get me, to go through me to get him, because he's the one. But since my name is on it, they got to come through me in order to get him. Well, Marvin sit there and told the man that I'm buying motors, and I already had all this. I'm buying motorcycles and brand new cars, and I'm spending the money. He put me down like I'm the bad guy here. And I went in the chamber and talked to the judge. When I went back out there, I'd done exactly what they said. I didn't know if I was going to jail or not. I didn't know if they were going to set me up. But I knew I had to trust somebody, and my lawyer was right there. So anyhow, I went back out there, and I stood there, and the judge asked me a couple questions, and I said what he told me to say. He said, Mr. P, you are dismissed. Man, I walked out, and I ain't never turned around. I hurried up and left from there. And they had him in handcuffs and locked him up. They locked his butt up. That was the second time. Well, if I'm gonna be deterrent now, that would do it. I mean, that's the one that would do it. But that didn't do it. I told the Lord, I said, no. I don't know what I'm doing. I need your help. He directed me to Jim. And I went over to Jim's house. And we sit down and planned everything out. We're going to split things down the middle and on and on and on and on and on and on. And the rest is history. That was the third time. And now I'm ready to quit and can't.
Mm-hmm. So, like, how long did all this take? These attempts until you finally struck gold?
Well, I would say maybe a couple of years. If yeah. Maybe within a couple of years it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, around like how was the company when it was starting off and all that stuff?
Tight. Well,
what led y'all to y'all success that y'all eventually started finding?
Just leaving the money in the company. Just turning it over and over. We took our paycheck, nothing extra. We took our paycheck and left the money alone. You got to leave the money alone until you got something to work with. And there was a couple times we needed to borrow some money. Well, he had people in his family that got money. And he would borrow money from them and make payments until we paid it all back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had to get an accountant and do everything the right way, the legal way. Because Uncle Sam get in it, he'll hurt you. But that's it.
So, what ended up like what am I trying to say here? What was that like big changing moment which started to bring in like a lot of money?
Different jobs. You get work in the construction field, you got a 30-day period. You get paid the 15th of the month. Or you set the date you want to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you gotta work. Some jobs you work longer than other ones before you get your first check. But most jobs you work like 30 days, put your requisition in, and then you get paid.
Mm-hmm.
But in them 30 days, you got to have enough money in your account to cover payroll, when you pay your taxes, when you pay your union benefits, and a whole bunch of junk. But you got to have money. And since I didn't have any money, we had to borrow money. But we paid it all back.
Mm-hmm.
He mortgaged his house, I mortgaged my house. And that's another scary thing, because if you don't do it right, you lose your house, you're in a worse shape than you ever been in. Now you got to find a place to live.
Yeah.
But it worked out. Lord blessed us. I didn't miss from day one, I have not missed a paycheck from day one.
Okay, so while all this is going on, how long have you been in business, by the way?
Since 1978.
That's when Genesis still had started. Okay. So it was the same year you got saved. Okay.
No, Jalen. No. No. Not 78.
88?
85, 6, 7, 8. 88 is when we done our first job. I formed the company in 85. 88 we started running work. I formed the company and then went to gym. That was in 85. No, I formed the company in 85, and 3 years later is when I went to gym. Because I remember M-Dot, the man telling me, Mr. P, we certify firms that's working, yours is not working. And I told him I'm taking my time putting the pieces together, getting the money I need. And he said, okay, but if you want to be certified as an MBE, you got to get some work on the books. And that's when I went to gym, and I've been certified as an MBE ever since.
Okay. So what about New Christian? What was it start like with that, the church?
What was it start like?
Was you there for its start?
No, when I went to New Christian, they was already in the building.
So what led you to becoming a deacon?
I went to New Christian, and this boy named Milton Worthy, he's gone on home now. I went to Preacher Brown Church. Preacher Brown, Manor Bible Baptist Church. That's why I called the company Manor, because I was going to Manor at the time. But anyhow, I went to Preacher Brown after I got saved, and Milton Worley was there, and he was telling me and a few other young people about Harnett starting up a new work, and he really could use some workers, some helpers. So he said, I ain't trying to tell you boys what to do now, but go by there and see do you like it, because he could use the help. So I went past there, and I seen that he had some deacons, but I didn't go there looking for a position. I just went there to see what I could do to help. I ain't even think about a deacon, to tell you the truth. But I went there, and I don't know what I done first. I don't know if I started singing on the choir or what I done. But anyhow, I went there and I started getting involved with the church. And after a while, they asked me what I consider being a deacon. And I told them, well, I haven't really put a whole lot of thought in it. But yeah, I talked girl about it. And next thing I know, 1985. Wait a minute, I'm getting my days mixed up. 95, that's what it was. 1995, I was ordained as an ordained deacon.
Okay.
March 1995. Matter of fact, I got the little stick on in my Bible of the date that I was ordained. But that's when I was ordained as a deacon. That's when the work really began. Because I'm not one that you can lead around. If you're doing wrong, keep it from me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to do something if I know about it. That's the job of a deacon.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a deacon and you know that them two people ain't married and one of them singing on the choir and the other one is a usher and you don't say nothing, you should not be a deacon. The preacher should not be a preacher if you ain't gonna say nothing. What good are you? God house is where you supposed to hear these things. But the pastor didn't say nothing to him. Either I had to say something to him or leave. I chose to do my job. They hated me for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I trust God. Jalen, today, if that girl walked in this house, she'd climb all over me. Crazy about me. And that God done that. She, one of them high yellow girls, you know, they don't like nothing black. And that's the way she acted around me. She just didn't care for me. And when I spoke about them not being married and serving in the church, all hell broke loose. Whole church was upset. But what am I going to do? You are the ones that approached me. Now, I know it was the Lord. I know it was the Lord. But now you're wrong and you don't want me to say nothing. Well, then you shouldn't approach me. I'm not one that be approached and think you're going to tell me what to do. No. If I'm wrong, show it to me in God's word and I'll back away. But if I'm right, I'll show you in God's word. Now, what are you going to do with it? Well, Bonnie hated me. Called me a bunch of names under her breath. She was pregnant and mean. She was walking, I guess, Jalen, as far as from here to the street. We was at a park somewhere, and she had a bunch of bags. She knocked up, something way out there. She had a bunch of bags. And her sister said, ain't you gonna help Bonnie? I sit right there on that chair. I cross my legs. I said, I'm helping her. I'm watching her. And she was struggling coming up the hill. And I'm sitting there smiling. Man, that really did piss her off. And Bonnie said, Pat said, I'll help you, sis. I said, well, go for it. I just sit right there and looked at him. And everybody knew what I was doing. Jalen, the Lord got into this thing. Bonnie ended up getting married. And that's what she wanted in the first place. But she had sold her dreams and settled for a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
But not God's way. Well, once she got married, she came to me and gave me one of the bigger. When she came to me, I was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But I just knew she was gonna punch me. But no, she came to me and she hugged me, and it wasn't phony.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, ain't nothing phony about it. Whenever she see me, first thing she do is hug me and kiss me. And Chris, her husband, the same way. But one of her arguments were, yeah, you the deacon, but if the pastor don't say nothing, who do you think you are? I said, Bonnie ain't got nothing to do with the pastor. I said, I'm your deacon. I left it right there.
Okay. So what jobs did you do? Were you on like big jobs when you were still working actually?
Well, my first job was the lighthouse. I didn't do nothing to that because everything was done to that was underwater. But what was the aquarium I worked on. USF&G building, that tall building downtown square, I worked on that one. The Columbus Center, I built that. That's the one I was foreman on. The one looked like it's a tent, a white tent. Yeah, I built that. Well, I built it out of the ground. Now, what's above ground is something another contractor. But everything in the ground, I put the rebar in it. I got several jobs I worked on there. I guess I done worked on almost all of them downtown.
You did bridges too, right?
Oh, tons of bridges. 95. My first bridge job was down with, going up 95, you get off at 395, around Charles Street and all up in there. I done a bridge. That was my first bridge job. But we done tons of bridges.
There's nowhere to hide.
And you did like bigger bridges too. Like then you do the Key Bridge.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the Bay Bridge too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what jobs did your company get once it was started? Oh, yeah. Then you also say you that the still work for the M&T Bank Stadium, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what things did your company do then once it was started?
What jobs did the company do?
Yeah, your company, Genesis. What jobs did Genesis get? We know about the museum in DC. What else y'all did?
Oh, yeah.
Your actual company.
Well, I'm running into a memory block.
Oh, you can backtrack. We know you did the museum.
Yeah. Yeah, the Key Bridge.
Oh, your company did the Key Bridge.
Wait a minute. Company.
Yeah, your company.
Yeah, company. Woodrow Wilson.
Oh, out between Virginia and Maryland.
And the we done that bridge going up 301. What's the name of that darn bridge?
When he spots prey.
Oh shucks. What's the name of it?
Food's hard to find here.
I can't think of the name, man. They just redone it again.
301. Where's 301 take you to?
Going right into Virginia.
Bridge, though.
Harry Nice. It's called the Harry Nice Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Jalen, sure. Now, Jim, he could tell you the first bridge, one right after the other. He's gifted that way. He know every job that we ever done, Jalen. He can tell you exactly where they are, how to get there. Me, sure. That ain't me. But Jim